Right.
Ayo.
Yo konnichiwa. Tashi na haishina yokoso. Good afternoon, Foxtrots. It is now 4 in the afternoon, the first day of March. And of course, we are here with episode 13 of Shrine Talk. Give me a sec. Let me just get Mariva's PNG. Now, just a heads up, Mariva is currently experiencing camera difficulties.
It's broken.
Yep, camera
Straight.
difficulties, but it's okay.
It's straight up broken.
Yeah.
I tried it with like the normal camera on the desktop too, right? Just to see what the image was, and it's just like a flickering, glitchy mess. It's over. I need a new camera.
Don't wait. What's your phone?
A what?
What's your phone?
It's like a Samsung something. I
That's-
was like.
I did read recently that they did improve the face and mouth tracking for VTube Studio on the phone. That's an
Really?
alternative you might want to consider.
I'll think about it too, yeah.
Let me check. VTS Google Play Store. Studio. Okay,
'Cause I
VTube
wouldn't-
Studio. It's 700 pesos on the Play Store. It's definitely cheaper than a webcam. And
Yeah.
if the model of your phone is more than decent, it should do the job.
Yeah. But I do need a webcam for like normal stuff.
Of course. Alright.
So it might be better if I just get a webcam.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah.
Or I don't know. If by any chance you have an iPad in the household no one's using, that is an alternative. That's what. Ow. Hello, Blue. Because that is exactly what I use. I use an iPad. Alright, so let's address the elephant in the room. Hello, Blue. And of course, welcome Foxtrots. And
Blue is the elephant in the room.
No, of course not. No, Blue is the gorilla in the room.
Blue, we got beef. That's what that's what this Shrine Talk is actually.
But yeah, welcome, of course, Foxtrots, Sunbathers, and Bluerillas, and other mutual fan bases from other people's streams. Hello, welcome to episode 13 of Shrine Talk. And of course, today we are going to talk about a particularly important topic, and that's of course the Uruha Rushia incident.
I remember when you told me you were planning to do this one.
Yeah.
And that night, and we ended up just getting sucked into talking about it anyway.
Yeah, because
just on our call.
we did have to like hash out the details that we were gonna cover today.
Yeah, a little bit. So there's a lot to go through.
Yes.
I think.
Now let me just go through the rundown. I always do this in every Shrine Talk episode. I always give a rundown of what we are going to do. So
Yay.
now basically we are going to discuss. Now that Cover Corp has made their decision, we are going to discuss, of course, this decision and the common misunderstanding regarding said decision. Number 2, several parties are indeed, I don't want to use, not at fault, I'd say are responsible. I think that's a better word. Several parties are responsible for what happened, but rarely are they even mentioned because, of course, all the attention and all the fingers are being pointed at Cover right now. Now, again, we are not picking sides, but we are here to bring these parties to light and properly discuss them. And lastly, of course, this isn't the first scandal that Cover Corp has had to deal with. We are going to discuss briefly a few more, and of course, put Uruha Rushia's incident in that perspective. Okay. Now, to start off, a quick TLDR. So, at around the week of Valentine's, Uruha Rushia was doing a collab stream of GTA 5 with Miko. And during that stream, a Discord notification popped up for a DM that she received. And apparently, the contents of that message were basically, I just got back, can't wait to play Apex with you, something like that. Or basically, I'm coming home, blah blah blah. And the important part of that message is that it used Rushia's pet name.
Oh.
Okay. Now to make things worse, the username of the Discord message was that of another VTuber slash content creator that rumored Rushia was in a relationship with. Again, I say rumored because until now, that is
it's literally all still rumors.
There's still a rumor. Right?
Nothing's been confirmed, really.
Alright, so after that, after a couple of weeks of Cover Corp's internal investigation, they decided that because of Uruha Rushia allegedly disclosing private information from the company, third parties, they have decided to terminate her contract. And as of by the end of March, if I'm not mistaken, by the end of March, Uruha Rushia's channel will just cease to exist.
Disappear.
Yeah.
Dunzo.
Yes. So that's basically the simplest TLDR I can provide.
Yeah.
All right. Now we move on to the meat of the talk, so to speak.
Yeah.
All right. So first things first. Hololive is marketed, of course, as an idol group. I mean, literally one of the most memed footage of Hololive is when Iago was being interviewed about Cover Corp, and he did say that they wanted to make a group of talents similar to arguably one of Japan's largest idol groups, AKB48. So straight
arguably one of Japan's largest institutions, basically.
Yes. So that's already like Cover Corp cannot deny that their talents are not being marketed as idols. They literally compared it to AKB48.
Mm-hmm.
And AKB48 is the most
they are
the idol group of Japan, right?
They are Japan's idols 100%. Just straight up.
So, now that I have mentioned that Hololive is indeed marketed as an idol group, how would you explain that to a fan of Hololive who might not be aware of this? Like the ramifications of all of their talents being marketed as such.
Okay. That's a bit of a this is a large thing to cover, right?
Of course.
If you're not familiar with the way idols work in Japan, you might be tempted to kind of see it in the same way that you see Western celebrities. Like they are famous for whatever reason, etc., etc., or they're like it's like a boy band situation or something. You know, that's the idea you're thinking of. If you're a little bit more knowledgeable in, like, for instance, things like K-pop, you also might be tempted to conflate those things. I would say K-pop is a little bit analogous to the way Japan idol system works, but not entirely, right? The Japanese idol system is a very long, it's a, I won't say historic, but it's a very established kind of system. The Jimosho system kind of was the progenitor and the most base form of, well, it was what got big. It was what made idols big.
Yes. Very much.
This and you have to understand that that with idols, the product isn't the music or the merch or the primarily. The product of an idol company are the idols themselves, right? We're selling you the experience of knowing these girls, mostly girls, yeah.
Yep.
And therefore the experience of them being famous is not really, it's not about them personally, right?
Yeah.
An idol is somebody who is recruited at a young age, is trained up by the company, and basically they have their identities, personalities, and everything built by the company, and that is what is sold. They don't, who they are, uh, at least in the old system, who they are isn't necessarily, um, in real life, it isn't necessarily connected to what their idol personality might be. They might be completely different people.
Indeed.
But it's this idea that it's like a manufactured kind of celebrity, right?
Yes.
Hololive and VTuber idols in that way, I would like to think of as kind of like an even more so in this kind of manufactured kind of celebrity, because they are literally manufactured from like the way they look, like to their physical traits, to their everything, the way your voice sounds, the way you are presented, all of that is literally under control of the company. This of course is not something anybody is unaware of. This is the point, after all, of the idol. We wanted this.
Yes.
And it's not something we look it's not something to look down on. I mean, I think everybody who is engaging in idol culture is aware of this, right? It's not like we're secretly raising girls to be like false personalities, and we're not being like they're not telling us like, oh, like this is what they're really like, and no one cares. That's not the point, you know. And like even the training process, selection, and like promulgation of idols in Japan is something that is also broadcasted and sold. Like these idol competitions and searches, auditions are a highly publicized event, even in Hololive. There is an idea of stepping into a world that is different than ours, right? And so what's the point of having idols? We are trying to look for that experience of like, say, like intimacy, an experience of closeness. Literally, to be an idol, right? From just the name, is like a person that is worth idolizing, something that embodies like higher ideals than us, right? Something that carries like deeper dreams or meaning to us as people. That is what an idol is supposed to be. Something that is like, I don't know. I won't say it's something like sacred, but I will say that it is like they're supposed to be seen as like a higher degree of person. They're like the caretakers of the things we care about.
Yeah.
I would say that's what an idol is. And I would say that Hololive is trying to do that too. But I will say that Hololive and the rest of VTuber culture has been moving in a direction that is a bit more, let's say, yabay. But I would, in this vein, like if AKB48 is like the carriers of Japanese culture, and like that's what they caretake and protect and hold for people in Japan, Hololive would be like caretakers of, I'd say, internet culture, or at least the parts of internet culture that we like and that we are willing to be happy about, because there's a lot of shit about internet stuff.
Yes.
But I'd say Hololive, like those feelings of like being together with your friends, liking video games and anime shit, you know, making stupid jokes, basically enjoying time with people through online channels and things. I think that's what Hololive is generally trying to sell to you, is that vibe of like having a friend in your computer that you can talk to, that you can enjoy with, generally. And that's why it's different than just Western celebrity. Like Western celebrities, or at least Western people, they put a lot of like weight onto like authenticity. Like that's the key to like the parasocialness in Western celebrity. Like, oh, like it's like I really know them. It's like we're really friends. There isn't an expectation of that in Japanese idol Hololive stuff, you know. It's not about whether or not they're for real. It's all that matters is that this character is for real for you, and there's this expectation that we're all keeping up the character together. We're all doing kayfabe together for love or whatever. I think this was one of the things about Rushia that hurt people, is that it breaks kayfabe. it makes you it tarnishes the illusion.
Yeah.
Because I think you can talk a bit more about like the GFE type experience, because it's honestly it's not something I engage with a lot, but I would say that breaking the illusion or is one of the biggest things that you can do wrong as an idol. I would say that Hololive has stated though that they are trying to not be that so much anymore, right? Private lives are private lives, especially with VTubers, because you can really separate them. You don't even look like your avatar.
Yeah.
You don't like that's not necessary, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're even saying that they're trying to protect their talents' private lives, and I think that's like that should be the minimum. It's good that they're doing it.
Yeah.
So, but I would say that like that's generally what idols are trying to be sold as, and that's why I think it all went down so bad, is because the thought of it like falling apart was a lot for some people. But as we'll talk about later, it's not the GFE bros who freaked out. That's not what caused this to happen. I mean, we'll get to it later. But it is something that would explain why there was such an outcry from people.
Yes, indeed.
Is that there is that expectation of, like, I don't know, being special, being like having some like an experience that is like the experience is being taken away from them.
Yep.
And it's a very specific kind of experience that is being taken away from them if the illusion is shattered, which is why it's so hard to be an idol, honestly, because you kind of, even if you're a VTuber, you kind of have to make it your life, and not everyone can handle that. That's a lot.
Yep. All right. So regarding the question, how would you explain a fan of Hololive who might not be aware that Hololive is an idol group? Mariva very coherently and very comprehensively described what I was going to say, but to put it in simpler terms, as you said, idols are different from celebrities.
Oh yeah.
All right. So let's say, for example, you meet someone like Robert Downey Jr. in public. He may have had many roles that he has portrayed, but him being married, his personal life, does not intrinsically affect his performance or his brand as an actor. Meeting him, knowing who he is, where he lives, what he does with his life, it doesn't really affect his image, because his image is just that he is a really good actor. It's
fun
simple.
Guy. Yeah.
He's a really good actor. That is the only image that he has to worry about, so to speak. Now, another is again, whatever Robert Downey has to do as an actor, he it's not like he's under a label of sorts.
Yeah.
He can choose what movies to audition for. He can decline or accept whenever casting directors are like, yo, we want to pair you up with Chris Evans for another movie. He can say yes, he can say no. There's no restrictions there. It's all under his preference. But an idol, as he said, practically the company owns you. Now, I don't want to give a dark image, but it's almost like idols sell a part of their soul to the company, because the company really does. Idol companies really have that much control over what an idol can and cannot do. That's one of the key factors. They really have to be like, they have to be this level of talent. Their focus has to be singing. They need to have this image of being say-so or whatever, and
for a reason.
For a reason. And of course, romantic relationships, that depends from company to company, but generally romantic relationships and idol culture are practically like water and oil. They just do not mix. They do not blend well. And to add to what you said a while ago, that Hololive
Mm-hmm.
is moving towards protecting their talent, trying to move away from the restrictions and the strict culture that embodies idol culture.
Mm.
For those that think this is impossible, I won't say it's impossible. It's
Not
difficult,
at
but
all.
it's not impossible.
Not at all.
I mean, if Nintendo can move from this image of nothing but family friendly to all of a sudden we get
Bayonetta.
Bayonetta. Um, y'all ever play Arms on Switch? Yeah, there were characters that were pretty thick. Um, Fire Emblem Three Houses. There's a lot of a lot of
Mm-hmm.
not so family friendly
Mm-hmm.
uh themes there. And even Mortal Kombat 11. Remember, one of the worst versions of Mortal Kombat was the one in the SNES version because that was censored to hell. There's no blood. The
Oh.
fatalities and whatnot were edited very heavily. Like decapitation fatalities, that was toned down. Like the head doesn't even get chopped off. But in Mortal Kombat 11, they didn't do that anymore. And you might say, well, it's because Nintendo wanted more money. Yes, but do note also that the gaming industry has evolved. Um, the gaming industry right now has so much emphasis on being able to freely portray a message or an experience without any or very little hesitation or restriction. And that's just a fancier way of saying censorship. All right, censorship. Just the less censorship games have nowadays, much better. But regarding this transformation of the brand that Hololive is trying to change, there has been a change recently. A lot of people might not notice this at all because there again, don't get me wrong, there is nothing wrong with consuming a service or a product and not being aware of how said product or service changes. There's nothing wrong with being oblivious to that. But think of it this way. When we first had Kizuna Ai, she was still very idolish in her identity, right? And
Mm.
for a period of time, Hololive has also been that kind of, idol image. Now, when you look at the rival company of Hololive, which is Niji Sanji, I mean, I've mentioned this to Mariva before. What's the
Mm.
simplest way to describe the two? Niji Sanji is basically Hololive without the filter.
Yeah, you said that before.
They have no filter. They will swear, they will say and do yabai stuff on stream because they are not, at least my personal opinion, they are not marketed as idols. They're practically streamers. And this is because at first, VTubers has had this stereotype of being very idly in their identity and their branding. But
Still are.
nowadays,
I'd
but
argue they still are somewhat.
yeah, of course. But nowadays, VTubers are seen as generally another subcategory of streamers instead of a subcategory of idols. And it really, like, you can see this a lot more when you compare corporate VTubers and indie VTubers. I'm not saying there are no idol VTubers, but the differences between the two, that's one of the bigger ones.
Mm.
I would say there are more streamer VTubers than idol VTubers when it comes to indie.
Because streamer over idol is kind of
A
like what I
lot
was.
more accessible and there's much less restrictions.
And there's like that same line I'd think of like Western celebrity versus Japanese idol.
Oh yes.
Between idol type streamers and streamer type streamers, because
Yeah.
I think streamers type streamers come from like, the Twitch American type streamer, which
Mm,
is which is more celebrity-ish
I
compared
mean,
to the idol type
you look at
from
say
Japan.
you look at Kason. You look at Kason.
I'd say Kason,
I
yeah,
would
she's
say she is more of a streamer VTuber, even
could be.
though she does like karaoke streams, some even non live 2D streams. Kason, well, again, she does have Western culture in her influence, but like she is based in Japan and everything. And you can really see how both cultures bleed into what she does. She still presents herself as, again, it's part of her brand. She's a thug, she is a delinquent. But like there is still that finesse of being a VTuber. There's still like that I still have to live up to this image that I set for myself, etc., my standards, whatnot. And that kind of thing just really flies over most HoloLive or even some VTuber fans. It just really flies over their heads, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But in the context of the Uruha Rushia incident, I think it's important that people recognize this. That especially people in the West, or not just in the West, but outside, those who are not familiar or even are part of Japanese idol culture or idol culture in general. All of these Oshis that we worship, that we follow, that we super chat for, etc., they are still being marketed as idols. As to what extent that Cover Corp is trying to distance themselves from that, only time will tell. But to a core, HoloLive VTubers are still idols. Yeah. I mean, from a previous stream, Marin Sencho did mention that her manager warned her several times to be very careful when she speaks in public, because her IRL voice is very close to her voice as Marin Sencho. So again, that is very typically idol culture in a nutshell. Because there's this image, and if Marin IRL doesn't match that image of Marin Sencho, it's gonna cause a very incongruent, practically identity crisis for her fan base. Some will be okay with it, but some will not be okay with it. And the funny thing is, contrary to what many might say, it is definitely Marin's responsibility to protect that image. After all, Cover Corp did dictate that, and that is how they want her to deliver herself to her fan base.
It's something that idol companies really value, is a stability of the idol's image. Like, it's okay. I think even Kason is still kind of an idol. Honestly.
Oh yes, I agree.
And I feel like she still has a lot of aspects of idling. She still has a strong united fan community. She still does like the merch stuff. There's a lot about her that's still very idly. The idea with idols, most importantly, are that the idol's image is like the same constantly. It's something that we can rely on and expect. That's why even with like the people getting more yabai and like moving towards like a direction of being less say so, I think we have to like remember to not conflate being an idol and being say so. Those are not necessarily the same thing. Having a safe identity, like one that is stable, one that we can expect, one that is an image that is built up, as long as it can be sold on a consistent basis, that's all that really matters. Marine is fucking horny as shit, but she's still very much an idol, because that is her image, and that is the expectation we get out of watching her. Kason, like, let's not to mention her old identity by name, but her personality has kind of stayed the same. The expectation of her personality as an idol hasn't really changed. So, and a lot of her fan base transferred over because she still gave them the same thing they were looking for through Kason, I think. That's why she still has like such a huge fan base, because everybody moved. And
that's
it was the same.
Understatement right there, but yes.
If she changed completely, if she was like a completely different person post HoloLive, I don't think she would have been able to retain this large an audience.
Or
I
if
think
she would get that audience back, it would take much longer than it did.
it would take longer, and they'd be there for different reasons. You know,
Yeah.
you're a fan of an idol because you like them, and you don't want them to be different. You want them to be the same tomorrow because you have the same values, same pleasure from watching them. That you
I mean,
do the next
think of it this way. Everyone calls Suisei a psychopath. Could you imagine Suisei not being a psychopath?
It's not the same, right?
It's not the same.
It's part of it. It's part of the character, right?
It's
like,
part of their charm. It's part of their brand.
yeah, you having a little bit of weirdness in there. It helps. Like like Okayu is nice and comforting, but she's also a huge playboy, right?
Yeah, but like,
Corona is cute, but she's also a yandere. Like there's
Yes.
always it's like a little bit like that.
and
you know,
I
you've
mean, yeah, good.
We can't have like a. It's not like a. It's not like all idols are just idols because they're all squeaky clean and perfect.
No, they're not.
Idols are rarely squeaky clean and perfect. I'd say those are very much the exception rather than the rule, especially online.
I agree.
But yeah, what's important with idols is that they have this one vibe, you know, and the vibe is stable and the vibe stays the same, and it's when the vibe breaks. I like using the word vibe. When the vibe breaks, that's when things get. That's when there's tension between the fans and the companies, right? And the companies are the ones in charge of the idols and everything, right? They're the ones who are keeping up this image. They need idols. They need idols to stay the same and to stay in a certain level of acceptableness because they have to sell ads with their idols in them. And if the advertisers don't like it, you know how the internet works. The advertisers don't like it, you're not getting money. And some people are okay with not getting money all the time. Companies are not. Companies need the money constantly.
I mean,
so that's a really big part of it, if you ask me.
I mean, it's time to shit on Activision Blizzard. But remember, their Overwatch League lost so much sponsorship in a small amount of time because these brands like Coca-Cola did not want to be associated with a company that has a lot of very controversial allegations.
Oh, excuse me. Yeah. You don't want to have. I mean, it's not even controversial as much as it is. These dudes are fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And also like sexual harassers and shit. I wouldn't want to advertise with them.
Exactly.
And it's like well deserved. Like that everybody's fucking leaving them basically.
Yeah. All right.
But but then like an understanding of idols and how idol culture works is honestly a good lens through which to understand Japanese celebrity culture. Japanese celebrity culture is idol culture. You cannot separate those things. I'd say idols are the most important aspect of Japanese celebrity culture. Like idols are more important than normal celebrities there.
Yeah.
If you really like go there, and like see what it's like, idols are everywhere.
Yep. All right, moving on to a lighter question.
Yep.
Who is your favorite Hololiver?
Oh boy, what a
If you don't have number one, just top 5 or top 3 will do.
Okay, I can do a top 3. Let's see. Okakoro I count as 1.
Of course.
So, they're my number 1.
Kind of like how I count Beidou and Ningguang as 1. I call them Big One. I never separate the two.
Okakoro is my number 1. They're always. Noelle, I guess, would be my second. I like ASMR. My third, it's like really varied. I'd put Hollow and Gen 1 as like third. Just like as a whole, I like them all. And I just like I like seeing them come up on my thing. I've been kind of following them since they started. I was very interested in them as a thing. So I really like Hollow Ian, yeah. If you ask me why I like them, I think would be also interesting because with Okakora at least, they're what really got me into VTubers, period. Noelle, I just found her comforting. I like her design, I like her armor and stuff. Her boobs look nice and comfy, very, very warm. And I like Hololive Ian. I think it's cool. I'm glad they're doing so well. Honestly, they were like a testing ground for a lot of things.
Yep.
And they were really what exploded this wave of like English language VTubers. I think. Like it was like already coming up around the time Hololive Ian showed up, but then it really exploded after they showed up. A lot of people got into VTubers after Ian. So I think we owe them a lot, and I also just think they're great. They're cute.
I was about to say, like, wouldn't you want, just like yesterday's in yesterday's Elden Ring stream, wouldn't you want Noel to just hug you?
I know, just
grab
hold
you
me.
by the head and just hold you.
I will hold you as long as you want. Like, just please come back. Yes, mommy.
I really like how she says that I will hold you as many times as you will.
Yes.
She actually says that.
It's so hard. Fighting is so hard.
Holo Ian wouldn't have happened without Coco pushing for it, I believe. Yes.
100%.
Like, I will even say, if for people who think this is an exaggeration, that's a fair point, but I honestly believe that Coco started it. And I will say...
Cover had no conception of how big the English world was before Coco.
I would say that Hachima started the blueprint.
Oh yeah.
She made the blueprint, but Coco built that bridge. It's not my metaphor. I really forgot who mentioned it, but it's somewhere there on YouTube. Basically, the video was discussing how important Hachima also was in bridging Japan with the West and non-Japan audience.
I know one of the big inciting incidents was that video of Miko saying the N-word playing GTA 5.
Ah, yes.
That was huge. That was actually really big. Like,
yes.
I think those three, like Miko, Hachima, and Coco, are what really brought Hololive to the English world.
And one of my most memorable Miko clips wasn't even the N-word. It was when she was controlling Trevor with a sniper rifle, and she was on the roof of a construction site. And she was basically saying like, don't be dense, go home, social distancing. While shooting people. I'm like, oh my god. But yeah,
you go for it. Who your faves?
Okay, let's see. I'll say top five.
Yeah. Wow, that's a lot.
Number one, I will say, the reason why she's number one is because she's still active. If my number two was still active, she'd be number one. But number one, Shishiro Botan. Shishiro Botan, yes. When I first saw her make clips of herself playing Rainbow Six Siege of all games.
Yeah, my god.
I honestly did not expect, of all games, R6 Siege, because I know Apex Legends in particular is really big in Japan.
Oh, Botan, oh.
Yeah, like exactly. I know that Apex Legends is really big in Japan. I did not expect,
it's huge.
Out of all the games that she decided to make a clip of, it would be one of my favorite FPSs, which is R6 Siege.
Rainbow
and
Six.
Oh my god.
She had to flex on these motherfuckers, dude.
She is cracked. Scary cracked.
She had to flex.
I mean, I take pride in saying that I can solo myself to maybe plat at best, but with her skills, I think she has to be at least high diamond or maybe even champion tier. She is cracked. She is cracked. Her crosshair placement is perfect. Her situational awareness is flawless. She literally has the instincts of a predator. She is scary. She's a past competitive shooter game, from what I remember. Yes, she did mention this during her debut, that she was like high rank in 3 games. It was... No, wait. Was it 3? I know she mentioned 2 games where she was high ranked. She was very high ranked in Apex Legends and R6 Siege. And I'm just like...
Hell yeah.
Oh my god. But it is a shame that she does not have these streams, these competitive FPS streams like, say, Towa or Aqua or Ayame. And she did mention the reason. And I respect the reason because I can sympathize with it.
What is?
Her reason is because whenever she gets competitive, she will spend a gamer amount of time to win.
Fair.
And she feels that it's quite incongruent with her image of a laid-back lion. Damn, that's a shame because I've seen what you can do in Siege. Imagine a trio of Aqua, Towa, and Botan. That is scary. But I completely understand why she does it because even I myself, whenever I have this streak of say playing competitive fighting games for a week or two,
you need a break.
At one point, it hits me where I'm getting way too intense. I need to distance myself from this for a bit.
I need to do another thing. I need to play another game.
Yeah, and
back to Elden Ring.
Yeah, and that is one of the reasons why Botan does not commonly do competitive streams.
Long competitive streams. Yeah.
Now, number 2 is, of course, the legend, Kiryu Coco. Yes. As someone who is a Yakuza fan, I was genuinely shocked when that viral clip of her reacting to Kiryu showing up in one of the later titles. I'm just like, shit, I can relate to that because I am also a diehard Yakuza fan. Oh my god. And of course, all of Kiryu's accomplishments, she did push for the collabs of Arc. She did push for Streamlabs to be the standard of what they use for their tips and their whatnot. She did also break the mold with Asakoko and, engaging with an English audience because she would speak both in English and Japanese in her streams.
Yeah.
And a lot of the HoloLivers have been leaning towards that as well. They don't just speak, of course, 90% of the time they speak Japanese, but whenever a Kaigai Nikki says something or super chats, they try their best to read it in English. Not to say they wouldn't do that now, but because of what Kiryu Coco did, they immediately saw the impact and the benefit of doing that. Alright, that's number 2. Number 3, I would say Mori Calliope is my number 3.
Mori.
Yes.
Let's go.
Why? Because of her general vibe. Her vibe is straight up one of the most gamer vibes.
Dude, yeah, 100%.
She is one of the most gamer vibe HoloLive talents because, again, she is a rapper. She can really make some sick beats, and her design is just stylish as hell. Be it her Reaper outfit, her casual outfit, or that really hot red dress she has, it's mad drip.
She's got gamer vibes.
Despite that, she's got mad gamer vibes, and
she's got gamer vibes.
Have it. And
she's got girl bro vibes.
Yes, she is so relatable as a gamer. Oh my god, watching her rage at Jump King, I'm just relatable. That is so.
She's
relatable.
Like that one girl who goes to sleepovers with guys because nobody's fucking worried.
Yeah.
In high school and shit. Just dude, that's our bro. What do you mean?
All right. Number 4, I would definitely say
bruh girl.
Towa. Towa is my number 4.
Towa's great.
Yeah.
Underrated.
And the reason for me, Towa, is because of her singing voice. And she is also she's pretty cracked at FPS as well. Especially Apex Legends. She is crazy at that game.
Do you like FPSs in there?
I don't know. But yeah, my first exposure to Towa's singing was Error. And oh my god, I literally cried the first time I heard it because you could feel the weight and the passion of Towa when she sang that. And this was during a time where, we'll discuss this further, she did have a controversy of herself, and she was starting to get cancelled by, sadly, the JP Bros. And it was majority the foreign audience that really backed her up. They were very, very supportive of her. And again, you all know what she sounds like on stream. She sounds like this gaki, this brat, this punk. But when she sings, she's like an angel that descends from the heavens with a crazy range. And I don't know, you just feel very soothed by how she sings, because she's just a really damn good singer.
It's like that character from what was it? Gekkan Shoujo Nozaki-kun, Monthly Girls Nozaki-kun. It was like she's annoying, like this annoying girl that everybody's like, she's like full of energy and nobody likes her because she like is such a pain in the ass, but she's also got the greatest voice in the school, so she's like the head of like the choir club.
Yeah.
But she doesn't even care.
Now, 5th place for me is Akos Tales. I love
Oh, Heiko's. Yeah.
I love Bass so much. Because she's just like, one, she's very Australian to a fault.
I couldn't even tell if she was Australian or like New Zealander. It's like, I don't know. She's got both those vibes. But yeah.
One of the funniest clips was when she was playing Portal with Crony. And they were trying to settle something, and instead of saying rock, paper, scissors, she was like, let's play scissors, paper, rock. I'm like, huh? What? Scissors, paper, rock? And yeah, like, what the frick? And accent comes up when she says strawberry. There's a bit, yeah, strawberry. That one also. And of course, acacia logs. And everyone corrected her, acacia? Acacia logs. That's so cute.
What a baby.
Yeah. But yeah, like, of course, if there's one scary thing about Bae, it's her range. Have you heard her speak in Japanese?
Yeah, I saw her speak. She's good.
She can speak 5 kinds of personalities in Japanese. It's scary. Her non like brat voice is like, it's like listening to Suisei with a low pitch, but with like very fluent English. It's very scary, but it's really cool. All right, moving to the third question. So, have you been part of idol culture before? Like, have you been constantly following it? Have you even been part of an idol culture, an idol fan group, etc., etc.? Have you ever been?
I would say not strongly. I studied like film and media cultures in college, so I was always interested in it. Like K-pop was a big research thing that I looked at a lot when I had the time. Anime otaku cultures, of course, I looked into a lot too. It's more of just stuff I'm aware of and reading about, but less like that. I don't think I was like ever an active participant, but I knew a lot of people who were, and I talked with them a lot about it, you know. But it's not something I actively took part in so much. I'm a very, what's the word? I'm not an obsessive fan over things.
Understand.
Except Berserk. They're like but like Berserk's like a whole like story and shit, you know. There aren't any people involved. Well, there was Miura,
but whenever you mention Berserk, I remember the chaotic experience we had.
I love Berserk. I love Berserk.
All that effort, all those deaths and hard work,
worth it
to get the great sword.
The sword from Berserk. I wanted the sword. I got the sword. I did it. Okay, but I can't use it yet because I'm not strong enough. But I will be.
Yes.
Anyway, where was I? Sorry, I got distracted when I think of Berserk. Yes. I'm more fans of media and things like that more than I am usually like people and celebrities. So I don't really get into like idol things because it's all people, you know. But I am very deeply interested in
Did you end up getting the sword? I ended up getting the sword. Mariva ended up getting the sword. Yeah.
I got the sword.
Yeah.
So yeah. But I get idol shit. I get otaku shit a lot more because hell yeah, I relate to being a fucking otaku about stuff. but not so much people, which is what's been really interesting for me. Is like there's a lot. It's like a different vibe when
Oh, definitely.
the thing you're geeking over is like alive,
Mm.
is alive and can talk to you. I feel like if I got deep into it, it would be a very thick experience of like oh, I'm in love with this thing. Also, it can talk to me back if I like put enough money into it or watch enough streams
I
or
agree.
give enough money. Yeah, stuff like that.
Mm.
So it's a lot. I'm pretty sure.
Okay,
I would
okay.
say.
Fair. All right. As for me, part of idol culture. Well, definitely not. But I know a bunch of friends who are quite knee deep in not Japanese idol culture, but idol culture. And I am, of course, talking about one of the largest idol fan groups out there, BTS fans. I know a
You have
couple of
BTS
people.
friends.
Yeah, I have a couple of friends who are BTS army, and they are really, really passionate. They are
I have
very, very
I've had friends who
passionate.
are very strong, like K-pop girl group stands, like Twice, Luna,
Mm-hmm.
things like that. And we used to hang out like a lot before the pandemic, and they were like hardcore. Well,
Yeah,
as hardcore as you can be. They bought the merch. They talked about them almost every day. They were
as
sharing videos, watching
ridiculous
videos.
as
Uh,
ridiculous as the BTS meal is, people still bought that shit.
Yo, that shit tasted good. I don't know about you. I liked.
I mean,
I
I
liked
did try
BTS
it
meal.
because I'm like, again, my first impression was like, it's
Yeah,
still very McDonald's in the brand. They just called it the BTS meal, but okay.
that's enough. That's
That's
all it
enough.
is. It's an
Yeah.
advertising
It's an
program. It doesn't matter.
advertising. Yeah.
What is it supposed to taste like, BTS?
No.
Frinkle Star. Frinkle Star was Army at one point.
Was.
Yeah, her Facebook account, her Twitter account that she uses for like liking my posts and stuff is still based on I think Jimin. Um,
Wow.
she's huge, but then she doesn't like their new music.
I see.
She has very high standards for music and shit,
Sauces are all red, spicy one is my favorite too. I forget the name so well.
which was really
Again,
into,
I
yeah.
did not consume any BTS merch because I'm not ARMY. I have nothing against ARMY. It's just really amazing how passionate that group is.
So many of them too,
Not just many, but passionate.
Yeah.
Really, really passionate.
Yeah, but I mean, when you have like a giant number of fans, like
It's
a large
louder.
number,
You're
a large
already
number
loud.
of
You're already loud as it is. Imagine if you're louder because there's so many of you.
a large number of very passionate fans will like settle at the top of the drink that
And
is
again,
the fan culture.
Just to compare, my first-hand experience of a really passionate fan is when I saw, again, I was attending an anime convention in SM Mega Mall.
Yeah.
And this was at like the end of the manga, or was it the anime of Nisekoi?
Oh god, Nisekoi.
Yeah. And someone said Shitoge instead of Chitoge because who's the other? One's Chitoge and the other one is who's the other female character of that?
Onodera?
Onodera, yeah, there you go. So you have the group that
Fuck Nisekoi.
says you have one group that says Onodera is the OTP. The other one is no, it's Chitoge. And the Onodera fans call Chitoge Shitoge, obviously. But like, yeah, it was mentioned, and there was a literal like fist fight outside the convention, and I'm just like,
Yeah, you gotta defend your waifu's honor.
yeah, but I'm just like,
You gotta do it.
dude,
You gonna let them just say shit?
you're really gonna square up over a comment like that? Like,
100%.
Not to say that I don't understand, but I wouldn't. I wouldn't. If somebody told me that Shishiro Botan is overrated, I'm just like, well, you're missing out. I think you're wrong. You're missing out, but that's your opinion.
Depending on what someone said about Berserk, I'd fight them.
Yeah, I understand that. And even I would like, I'm not making fun of these people who squared up because Shitoge, but I'm just like, wow, he'd go that far. All
There's a
right.
lot of people who don't understand why like anime or idols are worth going so far for, which I think is leads to a disconnect in like the idol versus celebrity mind that we've been talking about a lot, right? Because with celebrities, usually it's the experience is kind of normal, you know. They are people who are rich and famous that you cannot that are
And
just that are
just
in things you like, you know.
just to give a very easy example, for those who are Henry Cavill simps,
E.
I'm pretty sure a lot have fantasized about him as their boyfriend, but
Yeah.
deep down they know it's not gonna happen. But
Yeah.
with idol culture, it's sort of like it's almost in a different level where like you can't imagine them not being your girlfriend or
It's
boyfriend
like
for that
it's like
matter.
with like a celebrity, you dream about them being your boyfriend because, but you know it's not gonna happen because it's like, oh, but there's no way we'll ever meet or whatever. The thing about idols is that this experience of you knowing the idol, consuming the merch, handshake events, in Hololive case, watching the stream, all of that stuff, that is the experience you're looking for.
Yeah.
You're not, there is no dream of like maybe running into them someday and dating.
No.
You are, in effect, kind of dating them already.
Yeah, you are sort of.
This is it. This is the experience. You know it's the experience. This is it, you know? You're already living the dream. Being a fan of an idol is already living the dream.
Yeah.
It's already there. That's why if it breaks apart, it's such a big deal because the dream is dead.
And I guess the reason why people are very sold hard on a VTuber girlfriend or boyfriend experience is because you can argue that as a girlfriend or boyfriend, they are much more tangible than idols like from AKB48. The interaction between an idol VTuber with GFE is,
but yeah, like the VTubing.
Yeah, it's a lot more tangible. The connection is a lot more emphasized, and you can feel the connection stronger with a VTuber compared to a conventional idol.
They're right there.
Yeah.
Like literally, you could touch the screen. Go kiss the screen. Kiss
All right.
me. Do it. Do it. Do it.
Next question: how would you compare Nijisanji and Hololive in terms of how they market their talents?
Hololive's talents are called Hololive's idols are called idols. Nijisanji's idols are called livers. That's already a big difference, just like linguistically and what you're doing. The expectation is different, right?
Yeah.
And I think Nijisanji's always been kind of this like. I wouldn't say they're playing a straight numbers game of just quantity. They do love quantity though. I think I saw some people getting like, oh, I think Nijisanji's debuting too many people, and everyone and like old Hololive fans were old Nijisanji fans were all like, haha, first time. You know, there's like they're the kinds of people who are like, it's like not so mythologized, right? You're trying to tell a story when you have idols. I would still call the Nijisanji people, I'd still call them idols to some extent. But they engage in idol myth making a little less. It's more chill, right? The Nijisanji experience, I would say, is a bit more chill about it. They're more varied. They're really trying to play towards the internet world, right?
And again, like I mentioned earlier, they have no filter.
Yeah, no filter at all.
They have no filter whatsoever.
They're freaks. They can say the weirdest shit on Twitter straight up.
Yeah.
They're allowed, right? They're given a little bit more of an open. What's the word? Just like they're given more leeway.
I will agree though with a take that Nijisanji has been dishing out VTubers at a pace that is kind of bloated. I would say, like, Jesus, like,
Yeah,
I'm all for, like, yay, more VTubers, but I'm just like, what? Huh?
I would say they're just matching pace with their Japanese counterpart. This is how many they would debut in Japan too. They have like a staggering number of members.
Yeah, but the amount of time you have to breathe in between generation.
Yeah.
At least recently, this is insane.
If you're Hololive, you don't do this.
Yeah, you don't.
Because if you're Hololive, you know, the act of debuting new people is an event in itself. The act of like the strength of Hololive is like that first week of the new Twitter account, the debut stream, the monetization stream. You know, these like early milestones that build up to this experience of like something new is happening and starting, and you're there, and it's shiny and it's exciting, all of that shit, right? That's the fun of the Hololive debut. The Nichisanji debut is more about hey, new fuckers to fuck around with on the internet, and getting them out as fast as you can so that they can start collabing already. Nichisanji's strength has always been very much in collabs and the interactions they do with each other. You're watching the show. You're watching Nichisanji, the show.
Yeah.
You know, you're not just watching one person at a time. And I'll go into that later.
And the funny thing is, like, this is the big disparity between indie and corpo VTubers, because no one is complaining that there have been an influx of indie VTubers over the past few months, maybe even years. No one's complaining about that.
Yeah.
Because think of it this way. When you see an indie game studio like dishing out games practically every 3 months, no one is complaining. There's nothing wrong with that. Even I think there's nothing wrong with that. But like, for example, if Activision were to release a Call of Duty game every 6 months, people would be losing their shit.
It already feels like that, honestly.
Well, because I
anymore,
exaggerated it a bit. For the past few years, they have been releasing a new COD game literally every year.
And they're all bad.
Well, I would say Modern Warfare was pretty good, but it just degraded after that because...
The first Modern Warfare? Like the first?
No, sorry, 2019. But even before that, they have been releasing titles practically every year, and I'm just like, guys, there are signs where the dev team is like, Activision, please, can you give us 1 year of resting?
They won't.
Well, until now, that is, because the next Modern Warfare game is delayed to 2024.
I wonder why, Activision.
Well, it's because Vanguard sucked, and I'm just like, gee, I wonder why it sucked. Maybe you should have given it a year more after you released Cold War, but
I would assume all the walkouts and internal investigations are also slowing things down.
It's because COD is a massive name and brand. I agree, but so is Final Fantasy, and you don't see Square Enix dishing out a Final Fantasy game every year.
It's the FIFA pattern. It's the FIFA pattern. It's the FIFA pattern, it's the 2K pattern. New game every year. Why? Because people are gonna buy it. Like, people who don't think about video games.
Yeah.
They're the ones who buy it. That's their market.
Yeah.
They don't care if they're bad. They don't care if they're the same. There are some people who will just buy the game.
Thing is, people will keep talking shit about those games, but they'll still, like, not just buy the game. They'll buy the microtransactions with it, too. And I'm just like...
They won't stop. If it works, it works. I mean... Like if you're a capitalist and your idea is maximize the amount of money you make off a thingy, then looks like they're maximizing.
Yeah,
even if all the games are shit, if all of the shit games sell, they're still selling.
Yep.
So that's
what it is.
That's how it be.
Yeah.
I don't think Nijisanji's like that though. I mean, I don't think they're doing it just because it sells.
No.
It is part of their branding,
but it is staggering. I won't deny that it's staggering.
It's wild.
Well.
I think also it's like we're just starting to experience it with EN, while there are Nishisanji fans who've been like on the Japan side who have seen this already, and they're like, oh, yeah, that's normal.
All right,
they're used to it.
All right, last question for the first part, and then we move on to the meat of the topic.
Yeah.
All right, so let's weigh the pros and cons of indie and corpo VTubers. And again, have you considered going corporate, and why did you decide to be the kind of VTuber you are now? Okay, I'll start with the pro and con of an indie versus corporate VTuber. It's very, very easy to see. As a corporate VTuber, you have better job security, that's for sure. Your paycheck is a lot more consistent because you're not only being paid by the streaming platform, but you're also being paid by your contract, so to speak. And then you also have incoming sponsorships, partnerships, merchandising, royalties, etc., etc.
Yeah.
But as a corporate VTuber, you do not have the freedom of how you dictate or deliver your service or brand, because the company dictates what you can and cannot do. And that also means how much you're able to interact with your fan base, who you can collab with, what you can even play, etc., etc. So, for example, Kayson can literally play whatever game she wants. She can decide to play one of those really cheap adult games on Steam just for the heck of it.
If Twitch allows it.
If
some
Twitch
games
allows
are banned by Twitch.
Yeah, if Twitch allows it.
Or YouTube, I mean.
Yeah.
In her case.
Yes.
But anything.
Anything.
You know, they don't let the Hololive girls play Civ 6.
Why?
It's got you know, it'll just like randomly do things with countries, right? So what if China's in your game and it starts saying shit like China's a warmonger? It's not a good look. There will be complaints.
Yeah.
So it can be politically dire if you play Civ. So no one's been able to play Civ in Hololive.
Which is a damn shame. But
Vox got to play Civ on Nishisanji.
Exactly.
Because they're a bit more lenient.
Not just more lenient, like I said, they have no filter.
Yeah, they have no filter.
All
so
right.
you can do that.
Now, as an indie VTuber, of course, you get to enjoy what corporate VTubers don't. Freedom. No amount of money can buy that. You can choose whatever game as long as your platform allows you to. You have free control over how you deliver your service, your branding, and who you collab with, what you tweet out or post on social media, etc. And you can literally do whatever. Like if you were a corporate VTuber and your whole theme, like let's use Mariva here as an example. Let's say she's Techno Neko. So she has to fit that vibe of like techwear cyberpunk-ish cat girl. But let's say that because of her recent stint with Tekken 7 and KOF, she wants to have like a fighting gamer vibe, a fighting character vibe.
Yeah.
That'd be really dope. But because the company is like, no, you're a Techno Neko, your next outfit is just gonna be better techwear and whatnot. And she's damn it. Nope, she can't do anything. Even if her fan base supports it.
If the
company dictates what you do, and it's your job. It's literally your job to do what your boss says. It sucks, but that's how working under a corporate company works.
Yeah.
As an indie VTuber, you literally have freedom over yourself. And of course, there are still the unspoken rules, like if you hired, say, artist A to make your model, and you want to make a version 2.0 with another artist, it's still courtesy to ask your original artist if they are okay with it.
Ask your mom.
Generally, yes. Because again, what artist number 2 will do is basically touch up an original art that they did not make.
Yeah.
And make it into a model. So it's still very important that, you ask your artist's permission for that. Because it's not as simple as commissioning an art. Because say if I were to commission Mariva to make, to draw me in a certain outfit, a certain pose, etc.
Like just an illustration or something?
Yeah, that's totally fine because it's practically paid fan art.
Yeah.
But if I were to commission Mariva for a model without asking my mama,
I'd say
that
no.
is a big no-no. If anything, Mariva would ask, did you ask your original artist?
Yeah, I'd feel weird.
Exactly. Because
Imagine
what would
if
Mariva
my
do?
children-
Mariva already has all the info she needs. She has my hair, my eyes, my overall theme, and she'll just translate that into her art.
It's like a different thing. I'm changing.
It's very different. So yeah, there's still one of those unspoken rules and everything. But also, as an independent VTuber, of course, your success is very sporadic. At least, there is still the grind that just about, it's not exclusive to VTubers, but streamers and content creators. It takes a while for you to hit your stride.
If at all.
If at all. But I am of
There's
this
no guarantee.
Yeah, I am of this firm belief though that if you're going to give streaming or content creation a serious shot, you have to do it constantly and consistently for at least 6 months.
Yeah.
And if there is a growth, even no matter how small, if there is an amount of growth, that means you're doing something right and there is potential. And then you just keep going and study your metrics, study your data, and adjust. Now, the problem is that as an indie VTuber, you have to do this yourself or with a very limited team. As a corporate VTuber, you don't have to worry about that because you literally have a manager who's in charge of stuff like this.
If you have money, you can hire someone,
Yeah.
but then not everyone,
not
like,
everyone has money for that.
Very few people are rich enough to just dump all their money into becoming a streamer.
Yeah, as an independent VTuber, it's a lot costly, and getting your money back from your initial investment for like streaming equipment. If you're a VTuber, your live 2D model, the rigging, etc., it will take some time to get the money back.
There's either cost of either if you can't draw, either there is the cost of hiring someone to do your art,
or you'd be a Chad like the Techno Neko here and just do everything yourself.
If you're weird like me, you learn how to draw.
No, shut up. You're not weird. You're a Chad. If you are a Chad like Mariva here, you're just basically, fuck it, I'm too poor to commission someone, I'll just do it myself.
If you have no money and a lot of free time, I do recommend trying
and patience.
to learn.
Let's not forget patience.
And and like lots of reading to do. You can learn how to draw and do it yourself. But
or
then
maybe if you have a little money
20.
to spare, you could get some paid lessons online if you really want to learn.
I considered it briefly. I was like, this guy's got a course and he looks like he's a good drawer. But then I just decided against it in the end. I was like, nah, fuck that.
And to be fair, you look at Mariva's model, it's pretty damn good.
It took a while.
Yeah, it did take a while.
It took a while to get here.
But again, estimated cost for that model, I'd say the standard price is say $300 to $500 for the model, maybe $200 for the rigging. Estimate. So,
my estimate would be higher. A model of like I would charge for a model of this quality. I'd do $800.
$800. I was gonna say like $700 or $800.
$800. Oh no, I'd do like $700 without rigging. With rigging, I'd make it like $900. Yeah.
So yeah, 1K range.
I saved that money.
Yes, so she saved basically 40,000 pesos worth just by doing it herself. And what can she do with that? Let's see. She can buy a better camera, a bunch of games, better PC parts, a VR set. Wink, wink.
I will say at least like some dude just gave me like $100 for to buy this thing though.
No, somebody also gifted you like money to get the digital deluxe edition of KOF.
Ah, that guy too. Yeah. I hope he's alright. I've seen 3D models go for 1,200. I'm learning Blender now too, so maybe I'll make a 3D model of myself one of these days.
Yeah. And the reason why I decided to go and stay indie, like even if I had experience streaming in the past, I've always enjoyed the freedom of being able to decide what I'm gonna stream, who I will stream with, how I interact with my fans, my branding,
Yeah.
etc. That's something, especially now that I've met so many people,
Yeah.
I cannot let go anymore.
Yeah, now it's weird. I mean,
Like even if like granted, even if Mariva is the most say so VTuber out there, if the company says you cannot collab with her, but she's fine. No, we say no, so you can't. And that would honestly break my heart. Even if Mariva is okay with that, if I can't do that for something as like, let's collab KOF 15. Can't because corporate management said no, and I'm just fucking hell.
Nothing you can do.
Nothing I can do about that.
It's the price of engaging in the idol system.
It's the price of that paycheck. So whatever your monthly salary is, you do ask yourself, is it worth it?
They are big.
They are big.
They are big. You will be famous. 100%. If they have judged that you're talented enough and that you pass the auditions and they like you and everything like that, you will become famous. 100% guaranteed. You're in Hololive. Everyone is famous.
Again, you do not want that thought of when you go corpo and you become famous within a month. You do not want the thought of, if I went indie and would I have gotten famous in a year? You don't know that.
You know.
But when the limitations and restrictions of a corporate company sinks in, and you are haunted by that thought, I would probably earn the same amount of money with more privileges if I just did it myself for a year. Once that thought creeps in, it's not a good place to be in.
Mm-hmm. I would say though,
and that is one major deterrent for me, because I wouldn't be sure if I'd be happy being a corporate VTuber. I honestly don't know.
I personally, I wouldn't be corpo now. Too much has happened. I've been through a lot.
We have witnessed a lot of drama.
Yeah, we've been through. I've made so many friends. I've made a lovely community of freaks. You know.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I don't want to lose that now. Like even if it makes me less money, like that's what I've committed to, right? That's what I've decided. But if I was in a position where I really needed that money and I had the talent, you know, I don't see it being a bad option.
Yeah.
Because I think you are buying a lot when you lose the freedom to choose things.
You know what you're signing up for, basically.
You know what you're signing up for. And there are things that you gain. You gain things like legal protection. There is none if you're indie, unless you know a lawyer.
Yeah.
If you get that, that's a big deal actually. A lot of people underestimate these things. Somebody takes care of the tax portion for you. That's a lot too. A lot of these basic business logistics stuff, instead of you having to do it, someone takes care of it for you.
Yeah.
You don't have to think about it. There are some people, and honestly, I'll have moments where I'll think, God, I wish I didn't have to think about all this shit. I wish I didn't have to pick a game. I wish I didn't have to think about what my next design will be. Sometimes some people just want to kind of vibe and have fun and have talents and don't want to make business decisions. And I can see why corpo would be a good path for them, because it gives them all of the money, all of the support, blah, 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 blah. All they have to do is just not think too hard about the branding and stuff. If you can act, then it's a role, right? You're buying a role. And I think some people just are okay playing a role and not necessarily being themselves. I think they're very much happy to live in that kind of a world. Some people just can't. And I think they should go indie for sure. But I think there is a large contingent of streamers who would be fine just being whatever the company tells them to do. And doing whatever the company tells them to do and whoever the company tells them to play with. I've already made so many friends and I've already made such a big thing of myself that I would not want to lose it, because it's like they're like you guys are like my friends, like legitimately. So it would be like I don't want to give that up. I think that's more valuable. But if I was after in life a stabler paycheck, like not even just fame, right? Just like a kind of having a company is nice for the security, and there's very little security to be found in streaming. You
True.
know, so if you can get it, sometimes I would advise that maybe it's worth at least considering.
Definitely.
Security is nice to have. You know, I'm not secure all the time. Sometimes I'll have no money, and then I'll be worried. Like I'll just get stressed, and that carries over into your streaming life.
Yeah, but then again, this is why we decided that we're doing what we do.
Yeah,
Because
it's like
we're not
this is the
willing to
pause.
lose a part of our soul. We know that what we are trading for freedom. But
This
this
is
is
like
also
yeah,
why we are working hard until we get that magical check mark next to our names.
lol,
Mm.
get that partner.
Mm.
It's hard.
It's
It's
tough. I knew from the very beginning it wouldn't be easy. But it's tough. But the fact that I'm still having fun doing what I'm doing, I'm also, part of me is doing this out of spite for anyone who says work shouldn't be fun. No. You can fuck off with that mentality. That is one mentality that I'm vehemently very against.
Yeah. But then I think the main point is that corpo isn't necessarily jail.
Yeah, it's
Um,
not.
But and you definitely get so much.
Yes,
out
you
of it.
do.
But yeah, you give up a certain amount of freedom
Mm.
and leeway and whatever. But I think freedom to make your own decisions and do your own business stuff and decide things. It also like there's a lot of responsibility. You also have to shoulder all of the controversy, all of the hatred or whatever if somebody hates you, all of the problems. That's on you too.
Yeah.
And some people can't carry all of that, right? Some people would rather go corpo because it means you don't have to deal with it as much. And I think that's fair. It's hard. It's hard to carry all of it yourself.
And
If
of
you can.
course, one of the reasons why a lot of people want to be corporate VTubers is because, again, they are after that job security. They are after the secureness of having a contract,
Yeah.
And you see, that's really what people are looking for nowadays, security. And for you viewers out there, you don't have to worry about your own personal information security with NordVPN. No, just kidding.
God damn it.
With this episode, Shred Talks sponsor NordVPN. Just kidding. I wish.
Money. Give me the money, Mark.
I wish. I wish. But no, yeah. Like, honestly, jokes aside, that is one of the biggest appeals, though. I'll definitely say, the job security.
Yeah.
But
Oh.
just as tight as security is, so is it just as easy for a company to let you go with just one fuck up, as we will discuss later on.
Yeah.
Alright, now a quick 3-minute intermission. Now, any Foxtrots are basically our viewers. If you have any questions related to what we have discussed and what we are about to discuss, which is the Uruha Rushia incident, please do not hesitate to ask us.
It's gonna get spicy now.
It's gonna get very spicy, yes.
Rushia.
Did you ever watch any of Rushia's streams?
Tomorrow and stuff, of course. I watch her streams. She's adorable.
Yeah, of
She
course.
wasn't my Oshi, but like I like her.
She was very well known for being Eva Unit 01.
What the fuck?
Because of her screams, remember?
Yeah. I remember.
God. I remember somebody got a clip of the first episode of Evangelion and they got Rushia's screams and dubbed it over the Unit 01 screams, and I'm just like, I don't see a fucking difference. There's
This is
no
just a clip
effing
from
di-
Evangelion. Did you get any cues?
Cues? Oh, I checked the Discord. There's no questions yet. And we did tackle a few questions that were in chat, like the ones from Red Maze, a couple from...
Yeah, they came up,
Sky.
yeah.
They did. Man, I'm gonna try like tomorrow or maybe later tonight. I'm not sure. I'm trying this new setup I have.
Setup.
Yeah, I'm using my gaming laptop that has a GTX 1070, and I'm gonna use it as my streaming device, so that my precious little rig here is not gonna be too strained out.
Oh,
you
you're
know.
gonna separate your streaming PC basically.
Yeah, but I'm just doing like the things in my head. Like, I need OBS to pick up my mic and Discord, so this means that my current mic, I'm gonna have to plug that to the laptop.
Yeah.
And of course, with VTS, that's locally on the PC, so I'm also gonna have to open VTS on the laptop.
Yeah.
And then there's also, let's see, audio picked up from the game and this desktop. That's basically gonna come from the capture card. The capture card will take care of everything. But yeah,
well, you have a capture card.
Yeah, I have a capture card, so I use that. I did use it for when I used to stream, like games on the Switch and stuff. So yeah, there's that. I'm gonna basically plug. Like, I'm glad that my GPU has a couple of spare HDMI slots. I'm gonna use one of them, plug it to capture card. The capture card will be plugged to the laptop.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I'm just like, interesting. But yeah, I'm gonna have to test it tonight. Like, I won't test it on stream, but I'm gonna test it, like, you know, the capturing and the audio, whatnot, etc. It's like, oh my goodness. Alright, that has been...
Red Maze did say, would you at least try to challenge a corporate decision? If I was in the company, that's within your right as an employee, I think. To be like, I don't... like, to go like, hey, I disagree.
People have speculated that is the reason why Coco graduated. I think she had a lot of ideas that she wanted to push through, and they just weren't having any of it. And she's just like, okay. Like, she just ran out of motivation, and that's the motivation that she needed, her new ideas. And
you could tell in, like, the last, like, I think towards the end, before she announced the graduation, like, she was kind of less enthusiastic about it.
Yeah, and as the Tatsunoko said, the dragon finally spread her wings.
Yeah.
And yep, she definitely did.
It's great for her.
Yep.
Alright, let's get to the discussion.
Alright, so part 2, this is the whole core of the issue. So, let's quickly break down the incident. So, as we mentioned, there was that Discord message that popped up in the GTA 5 stream. There are a couple of things I also want to go through. So, before Cover's decision, Uruha Rushia did indeed approach... Was it Kore Kore? Am I getting that right? Basically, Japanese Keemstar.
Allegedly.
And, of course, the fact that I just said Keemstar, that's already a major red flag.
Now, again, anybody who's compared to Keemstar is not cool.
Now, again, I just want to emphasize, we do not send them death threats. They are literally just following their brand and doing their job. If their job is to be like vultures, gathering drama and giving it to the people, and there is a market for that, that is their job. In my opinion, it's a scummy job, but it is a job nonetheless.
It's a bad job.
I hate it, but people love drama, and they want to eat that up. And again, there was a comment that was very viral. The worst, like, the comment said somewhere along the lines, the worst part is that this guy is having the time of his life, meanwhile the other one's getting the worst end of the stick. And I'm just like... And this is why people do not like Keemstar in general, because they thrive off of other people's drama and maybe even suffering.
So yeah, they're just shitty guys.
And they will just like, they'll eat that shit up. The more controversial an issue, the more views, clicks, and money they get. And my god, like, oof, I understand that there are people who love that, but I'm just like, you guys really did throw dignity out the window, huh? Damn.
And there are lots of people who throw dignity out the window.
There are, but I mean, like, personally, I believe that there has to be a line that you shouldn't cross, or that before you cross it, you think really hard about it. Like, even as a VTuber, I do a bit of yabai and unsay-so stuff on stream. But there are things I am not willing to do. There are lines that I set for myself, and I'm just like, I am never gonna cross this freaking line. Ever. But
some
the
people
fact
don't
that
have some people don't have those lines.
yeah, some people don't have those lines. They don't care that people hate them because they're just after the dollar bills at the end of the day. And yeah, so Rushia did go to Kore to talk about it and to supposedly help her. But that backfired because instead, more people put their tinfoil hats and started conspiracy theories, connecting the dots on their already bloated bulletin board with like pictures of Uruha Rushia and her supposed partner, yada yada yada. And after about 2 weeks of radio silence regarding the issue, there was that circular that came out from Cover Corp's official website that, yep, they have decided to terminate the contract. And again, need I remind you that a couple of days after the drama, Uruha Rushia was indeed on her real account, I'm not going to mention it here, on her real account, she was tweeting that she was considering offing herself.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh my god, if she does continue with that, people are gonna lose their shit. People will be livid. That's terrible because again, I just want to bring this up.
She's okay now, at least.
Yeah, she's okay now. I have been following like her recent tweets and whatnot. She's much better now. But look, I honestly believe that stuff like this, even though it looks really bad, it's not like offing yourself or like sending people death threats. It's too much. It's way too much. And look, I'll give an example. Okay, I'll give an example. Foxtrots and just about everyone in the chat, you guys know how much, well, my take on Dream. Okay, it's a very unbiased view. I do not like the fact that Dream had a big influence on the drama that he caused in the Minecraft speedrunning community. His fan base is obviously like they are stands for Dream. And he has been proven to be a pathological liar. A very creative liar, might I add. Just to give you an example, let's say that Mari here is a part, okay? A part of the recruiting team of, say, HoloLive. Wow. And she says, I think you should apply for HoloLive. So we just have one person from the recruiting team saying that I should apply. If I were Dream and I were to lie about it, I will instead say the recruiting team did mention interest of me applying for HoloLive. That is a straight up lie, and at the same time, it's not completely a lie. It's a straight up a lie because it's not the whole team, it was one person. And that one person didn't even say, we are interested in you applying. It's just the one person said, you know, you should consider applying. You see how creative his lies are? They are still lies, they are still wrong, but my god, they are frustratingly creative. One statement will turn into a statement mentioned by the whole team. Being banned from speedrunning, being banned from the Minecraft Discord of a category of like Bedrock will turn into being banned from the Minecraft speedrunning community. Like, straight up, like, dude, no. It's still a lie.
Alright, back to Rushia.
No, yeah. But despite that, sending him death threats is too much. What did he do? He unknowingly modded a game. He unknowingly modded Minecraft, and it affected his numbers in speedrun. He basically cheated in a single player game and submitted it in a competition. I don't think that's enough to warrant a death threat.
Nothing warrants death threats.
Nothing. I have not seen anything recently that warrants death threats at all.
I don't think there's anything that should warrant death threats. Honestly.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Now,
if you believe somebody should die, tell it to their face. In like a dual kind of fashion, you know?
Yeah. And again, like regarding this whole issue, not just Uruha Rushia, but even her partner also received death threats. And
alleged partner.
Yeah, alleged partner. And Kore also received death threats. And I'm just like, you guys are acting like Rushia and her alleged partner had nothing to do with this. You wish that were it, but facts will say otherwise. And that is why I really did decide to start this episode with Mariva, because the amount of like bias and the whole drama of this issue is just mind-blowing. I really think that it's something we need to talk about.
It's involving Hololive, so it's always gonna get huge.
Yeah.
And we like if we get down to like the details of like what exactly happened, why did she get her contract cut?
Now, allegedly, it's in the circular, the official circular that they posted on their website and on Twitter, both in English and in Japanese. She allegedly disclosed private information to third parties. And allegedly, she has been doing so. And it's very vague because has been doing so. That's so vague. Has been doing so can be like the past 2 weeks, the past 2 months, the past 2 years. It still fits the time frame of has been doing so. Like, Mariva has been thinking of getting a VR set. Yeah, how long? 2 years? 2 months? 2 weeks? 2 days? Your whole life? Like, details are important. And that's the one, like, I'll discuss it later, but that's one of the things that irked me the first thing I saw in the circular. I'm like, can we get a couple of more details? That would really help out.
I can make a comment on that later too.
Yeah. Anyhow, alright, so that's the breakdown. Now moving on to our first question of part 2. So, is Rushia's identity as a VTuber a GFE VTuber? And we're gonna explain. So, before I ask Mariva's take on this question, brief explanation. GFE stands for Girlfriend Experience. And essentially, a Girlfriend Experience VTuber, which also fits how an idol VTuber works, is that the VTuber engages in a very, very close relationship with their fan base. A very intimate. See, I did not say romantic, intimate. A very intimate relationship with their fan base. Borderline, like I said, girlfriend experience. Like, Rushia and her fandeds have this very close relationship. They legitimately and genuinely feel that she is their girlfriend. As funny and weird as that idea might sound, it is legitimate. It is an actual thing.
Yeah.
Alright. So, would you say that we have watched her streams, but I want to hear your thoughts on this. Is her identity as a VTuber definitely a GFE VTuber?
From what I've gathered, like, based on what people have talked about, I would say she was one of the idols who did take part in it more. Right? That kind of like like you could, I mean, you could tell from like just the way her fans reacted.
Yeah.
I don't know if with like other kinds of idols we would have seen such a violent reaction if they weren't. It's hard because like I think it's hard to define. Like you can't. It's not like a straight up category, you know. It's kind of a, like it's up to the fans to really say if that's what they were after in watching her. I would just defer to what they said, and what I have heard from people on like Twitter is that that was the image she kind of cultivated, right?
Yeah.
In which case, then yeah, I would say she was that, and so there's that expectation, right?
As you mentioned earlier,
like,
yes.
something bordering on a relationship between her and her fan base. It's I wouldn't say risky, but I think it's a bit more of an undertaking to
Definitely.
do. If that's the kind of VTuber you want to be. Like what's her name? Halo Sweetie. That's her whole brand. V girlfriend. Your V girlfriend. You know?
Straight up right there in the caption. Your V girlfriend.
She's even more upfront about it, right?
Yeah.
That's the vibe she wants to give out. I watched her streams a lot. I was in there a lot at one point. I really liked the vibes. It's a good vibe, you know? And it's cute. And I think that's what a lot of people were after. Something comfy, something cute, something where they felt valued or liked, you know? And I think Rushia was good at doing that as a streamer. So I would categorize her under as a GFE VTuber. I think that would be a good way to describe her. Yeah. Well, do you have a thought about it? I think it's safe to say that. I think it's safe to say that.
If you look at her Valentine's Day merch that she was supposed to release, it's definitely a GFE experience.
Yeah.
Like, whew, man. And
I didn't
again,
look at the Valentine's merch.
Yeah, but I mean, if you can, you may as well check yourself to see for yourself.
I'll look in a sec.
But again, it's just very fascinating that it is a thing. Like just like a lot of things, even though you'll say, "Oh my God, it's weird, it's weird, it's weird, it's weird." No matter how many times you say it's weird, it is real. It is a thing. There is a market for it. The experience is genuine and everything. And weird as it is, you have to like respect that.
It's a thing.
Everyone has their own thing. Everyone has their own preference, their own taste, their own fetish. I'll even say that. Yes, I did say that. Everyone has their own fetishes, preferences, tastes, whatever. As long as they're not hurting people over it, it's fine. It's fine. Like, again, most common meme fetish right now, feet fetish. Are people chopping off other people's feet to fuel their fetish? Dear God, I hope not. But
this isn't Diamond isn't breakable.
But as long as they're not actually doing that, there's nothing wrong with that.
Feet dudes.
Everyone has their own kinks. Indeed, everyone indeed has their own kinks. As long as they are not harming people over it. Let's respect it, because everyone has, as much as they try to hide it and how they try to deny it, everyone has their fetish that even they aren't comfortable with sharing with other people.
You've never done ASMR, right?
No, I have not.
It's close to what I would say is a GFE thing.
Really?
It's something you're trying to simulate.
I mean,
I would say that when I do ASMR, I'm trying to do this like image of being like I'm in love with you. And
oh well, my vision of ASMR is just completely different. Just to give you an example, my thought of ASMR is that you're just trying to trigger a very sensual response from your audience. The closest thing I've done to ASMR is literally Back for Blood gun ASMR. I actually did that. I actually did that. I got every gun I just shot it. I reloaded it just to like, listen to it, tell my thoughts, and like, yeah, that reload is sexy, or the weight of the reload of this sniper rifle is really oomph. You could really feel the power, but like that's the closest I've gone to ASMR, and that's what I see ASMR as. I don't see it as something sexual. I see it as something sensual. Something that
I wouldn't say it as I wouldn't call it a sexual thing.
Yeah, but
again, I would call it like something intimate, something close.
Do any of you get the sensations from actual ASMR? From my experience, I did tune into one of Choco. I have tuned into one of Choco Sensei's ASMR streams. Can't deny, like, you do feel the tingle. You do feel the tingle.
I get the tingles out of it.
Yeah.
I like ASMR. I listen to a lot of ASMR people.
Yeah.
If you it has been sexualized. Everything's been sexualized. ASMR is easy to sexualize because come on, whispering into people's ears, things like that. It just fits. It was a natural progression, if you ask me. If it wasn't sexy by now, it would have been at some point soon. Mm-hmm. I don't begrudge that. I have many friends who are sex workers in the VTubing community. They're doing a job, they're in demand and people want it. People pay for it. Done. That's
Have you tried heartbeat ASMR? I have heard it
because I've done it. Oh. Straight up, I put my mic to the middle of my tits and shit. Nice. I've been there. People like that. Like I think that's the favorite thing of my listeners that I do.
And like before people ask me, do I find it weird? No, I find it pretty damn cool. I find it cool. Sticking an ASMR mic to your chest just so that they can hear the heartbeat, that's pretty damn cool.
It's like the girl who holds you in Elden Ring.
Yeah, exactly.
Look, that's all it is. I'm just the girl who holds you in Elden Ring.
Mari, right? I have an idea for you. The next Elden time. No, not Elden Ring ASMR. No. You give them that experience. For people who do not have Elden Ring and they cannot afford it, your next ASMR, you simulate that. You put the mic to your chest. They hear your heartbeat, and then you just basically say comforting lines like, "You are very warm."
That's what I do. I mean, like, that's a lot of the experience.
Yeah.
What ASMR is now is a lot of it is just kind of like simulating intimacy, right?
Yeah.
And to some extent, simulating intimacy will mean that you're gonna have to try and emulate this kind of close, intimate experience with like your viewers, right? So it's not something like, I think if there are people who think it's weird, they're not people who like ASMR. they're not people who like sex workers either, maybe. There's this feeling of closeness, right?
There is.
I told you idols sell themselves, right? This is this is just another way to sell yourself.
Yep.
Or sell your image, right? This idea of being close to you. Some people lack that. Some people don't have people they feel close to.
Yep.
Some people feel very detached from other people, especially in the world now where like in the pandemic and everything, you're not even seeing anybody.
Yeah.
So it really helps sometimes to just have someone you can go to for that. And I think that's what they're for. I think that's how they help.
Right.
I think 7 is an easy yes, if you ask me.
Yeah. Same goes for me. She's definitely a GFE experience.
I'd even say on like a small extent, that's kind of what I do. Just a little bit.
Yeah.
But I'm like your bro girlfriend.
Yeah.
I'm your gamer girlfriend.
Everyone's favorite Techno Neko.
Yeah.
All right. Next question. Right. So, as we have all seen especially on Twitter, everyone seems to point all of their fingers at Cover for not doing a better job at protecting their talent or trying to keep them employed. Why is this the case, and what are people missing? All right, I'll start off with this one.
Yeah.
So the reason why people are blaming this is because, again, we have lost talents in the past, because of allegedly because of Covercorp not doing a better job at keeping them. So we have lost Mano Alo, we have lost Coco, we nearly lost Towa, and we have lost Uruha Rushia. And to add context, among the top people who've earned super chats in their almost lost Hato as well, yes. Most amount earned by super chats, Cover literally just lost both. They lost Coco and Rushia. So before you point the blame at Cover Corp, try to put your shoes in Cover Corp. Try to put yourself in Cover Corp's shoes. The fact that you already lost Coco, you practically lost like a steady $1 million like per year or a year and a half. Rushia pulls roughly the same numbers. Are you really going to terminate her contract over a slip up on a stream?
They wouldn't even do that for real idols.
Exactly. So like maybe a punishment or suspension of some sort, but
100%
she is literally your largest source of stable profit, not sales, profit. All right? I say profit because the amount of cost that they invest in Rushia and the amount she brings back tenfold, it's big. Like, with a small investment for what Rushia does and her quality of service, she brings back heaps of money over what Covercorp has spent on her. Like, from a business standpoint, it does not make sense to terminate her contract over something, I say trivial, something as trivial as a slip-up on Discord on a stream.
It's definitely not that.
Yeah, and the thing is,
we can clearly say it's not that.
A lot of people think that is exactly why. A lot of people think that the reason why Covercorp, and the funny thing is, and this is what I hate about people on the internet nowadays, that they don't read. It's literally on the circular. Not once did they mention it's because of her mistake during a stream. The circular specifically states the reason why they terminated her contract is because she has, for a time, has been disclosing private information from the company to third parties.
Not just private, confidential.
Now,
classified.
While I will say this lacks crucial information, but I'll chalk it up to legal reasons why they didn't explicitly mention it. The gravity of this sounds way more serious than a slip up on Discord during a stream. All right?
Yeah.
Like, straight up, I'm pretty sure in your contract it doesn't say don't fuck up. Okay? Because people do fuck up as a VTuber or a streamer, like, I accidentally said a bad word when I shouldn't have. No, it's not in the contract that says you shouldn't fuck up. No. But what is probably in that contract for sure is that you are not allowed to disclose confidential and private company information.
There's actually academic evidence that sometimes companies want you to fuck up because it's more exposure stuff.
Yeah, but let's give them a benefit of the doubt and say that we don't know what. But let's say that we don't know what exactly she disclosed. We haven't had a whiff of a rumor of what it might be. But let's give Covercorp a benefit of the doubt that the information that was disclosed is quite serious.
Yeah.
It's in the contract. I'm not even saying it's their right as a company. It's literally in the contract.
They agree.
She signed that, I will not do this. Basically,
she had an NDA.
Yeah, an NDA. It's practically an NDA. Yeah, it's practically an NDA. Like, for example, do you know why there are review embargoes for games? Because that does affect sales.
It affects sales.
So basically, if From Software, fine, let's say, Berserk, okay? Let's say the company behind Berserk, they give Mariva early viewing tickets for their next movie,
I'd cry.
And they tell her, hey, you cannot say anything about this until like 2 days prior to its release.
Take it to my grave.
She has to honor that.
I will die before I
If she says anything or even an opinion, maybe she'll ask them, can I at least say that I did watch it? Because of course, like when you give your review, you have to say that it is her right to say that, I have to say that I was given early viewing tickets. Yes.
Yeah, I have to mention that, obviously.
But she cannot tell anyone her opinion.
Yeah.
Before the date that is set. And if she does that, she is in serious legal trouble.
It's the legal trouble. Really.
It is legal trouble. So, my point here, again, I am not defending Cover Corp. My whole point of this, sharing this information is that, guys, please try to understand the gravity of what Rushia allegedly, again, I say allegedly, because this is Cover Corp's internal investigation, and it's their report. It's their report.
It's all contingent on that they're telling us the truth.
Yes. This rests on them telling the truth. And for now, let us give them the benefit of the doubt that they are telling the truth. Allegedly, she did disclose private and confidential company information, no matter what the fuck that is because it's so vague, to third parties. That is against her contract, and that is within the confines of the contract to terminate.
Yeah.
Alright?
Or worse, you could sue.
Or worse, exactly. That sucks.
I bet they didn't sue because it would just make everything worse.
Yes, it would make everything worse. Now, the reason why, again, people are missing this is because bias.
It's easy to blame.
It's easy to blame. Like, again, for example, let's say that I worship this voice actor or actress, okay?
You do.
I do. Alright, so hypothetical, God help me, if I find out that Miyuki Sawashiro is... oh my god, it hurts me to say this. Is partnering with voice acting NFTs, I will honestly, if I were less critical than I usually am, I would say she was bribed, she would never do that. Whereas, even if there are videos of her genuinely doing it, I'm just like, no, she was bribed, she doesn't support it, she's just doing it for... No, dude, it's literally in... You can see the evidence. It's right there. It's like a freaking Phoenix Wright game. Guys, just read the freaking... read the circular. It's on the website. It says there. They did not terminate her contract for the slip-up during the stream. It was for a breach of contract. If I were to TLDR it, it's breach of contract. And just those 3 words, breach of contract, that is big. That is a big legal problem.
You know what? I'm like, just to go back to your hypothetical scenario again. Honestly, if she was into NFTs, they could only it would only be because they were bribed by the NFT people.
Yeah, usually
that's all
that
they
is
do.
the case.
There's no other reason.
Yeah. But again, like...
Alright, anyway, that's the reality
it
though.
Sucks. Alright, so how about you? What is your take on this? Why do you think people are very vocal against Cover Corp, seemingly only Cover Corp?
They don't want it to be Rushia. They don't want her to be the one at fault. They want to believe in a story where she was
she was the victim essentially.
Shafted,
Yeah.
We don't want to think she did a bad thing. She did a bad thing.
That she did.
In a business standpoint. I don't like companies at all. Like in just generally in any like form. I don't trust companies when they say shit. But like just looking at the design, like exactly what Red May said here. She's their #1 earner.
Yeah. And
you do everything you possibly can to keep her there if she's your #1.
Like even from a monetary standpoint, just from a monetary standpoint.
Completely. If I am assuming a unethical business standpoint where they don't care about anything,
just profits. They have no reason.
It was just pure money reasons. it would still be bad.
It's
to
literally a
terminate Rushia.
conflict of interest if they terminated her.
It would be a dumb idea.
It's
from
stupid.
a purely business. If it was as these people said, and it was about the dating thing.
It's the equivalent of Activision selling Call of Duty to another company. Why? Why would you do that?
It doesn't make sense, right?
It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make sense in the same vein that they would give up on Rushia for this. For something they literally said was fine. Remember, they said we don't want to interfere in the private lives of our talents. That's them literally saying, we don't give a shit if she's dating
in
someone.
the circular.
Which is another statement. I remember I posted about it. I called them Chads for it. I still think they're right. I still think it's right to not interfere in the private lives of your talents.
Absolutely.
And I honestly believe that that's what they value. Because it doesn't seem like it's ever been an issue before. So if they took down Rushia, and not just and they didn't just they terminated her contract. They did not even give her the grace of a graduation.
Yeah.
You know, they didn't even give her a send off.
No.
Rushia must have gotten in something serious legal
whatever she allegedly
issue
disclosed, it must
because
have
of
been
this.
bad. It must have been bad.
When companies will only do this to someone important is if it threatens their ways of making money.
Yeah,
if it seriously threatens the way they make money, if it seriously threatens their sponsorships, you know what it looks like if you're a company that does sponsorships and you can't have your talents keep basic secrets.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Advertisers have secrets to keep.
If Twitch is willing to give Amaranth a pass, and then one day they're like, "Yeah, we are terminating our contract with Amaranth," she must have done something really bad to warrant that.
They wouldn't do that. And Amaranth did nothing wrong. I truly believe that.
Red Maze
it doesn't matter.
Yeah. So Red Maze asks, do you think that the termination was discussed between Rushia and Cover before the official statement went live?
100%. Of course they'd talk about it before. Or at least they would inform Rushia what they were planning to do.
I'd give them a benefit of the doubt.
I would even say that there were several meetings, honestly. I feel like that this was something that they really sat down, talked about, and they had to keep coming back to it. And and there was an investigation. Have you guys worked at a company? Please tell me you've had jobs before. These kinds of issues are, if they're this deep-seated, if they're this important, this is something you really talk about a lot. Nobody, it's not a cartoon where you just go, ha, you're fired, you know?
No.
This is something that I'm sure,
it is a serious legal process.
I'm sure because she was their number one earner, especially. Yeah. I'm sure that they did everything they could to make sure that, to see if they could have kept her around.
They basically did the math.
They did all the math, and I think in the end they calculated that the loss from potential sponsors, investments, and other things was not worth keeping Rushia.
It outweighs Rushia as an asset.
Which means that she had probably, if we are to believe Cover again, because honestly believing Cover is the best way to explain what they did.
Yeah.
Because Rushia must have been revealing confidential information, maybe not purposefully to help other companies, but just in small ways like this, constantly to different people, because she didn't think it was a big deal or something. That's how I think it went down.
Okay.
And I think that hearing that your top idol is porous in an information standpoint, right? If your top idol is always just letting things slip for no reason, not for anything important or whatever, because if she was selling secrets for money, if they were buying secrets off of her, that would be bad, but then you could also negotiate paying her more to keep her from giving shit up. But if she was giving out secrets because she was just kind of loose-lipped about stuff, that's bad. And if she had already given out enough away that it was going to affect Hololife's image, in a way that was significant, then that'd be bad. She'd have to go.
Okay, we have a first-time chat from Excelsia. NDAs usually goes to lawsuits. She was lucky that never happened. Yet! We should add yet. Alright?
I would say I would be surprised. Again, I would be surprised if they went to a legal thing.
Yeah, but I will,
because I think that's the consideration they've given her.
I'm speculating the reason why they haven't filed a lawsuit is because, as Mariva said, maybe it was unintentional. It is bad, but maybe she can defend herself and say it was unintentional. Although
I would
sucks.
Theorize.
Yeah.
I would theorize it was unintentional.
Yeah, I would. I speculate that I think Rushia has a form of defense why they wouldn't file a lawsuit, and maybe because she didn't knowingly do so, or at least not intentionally, at the very least.
Yeah, I don't think she wanted to like undermine Hololive or anything.
Yeah.
But I think she was just careless.
Yes.
That would be this is like the explanation that makes the most sense to me. She was careless about the way she handled information from the company and everything, and Hololive put it together.
Had to put action to it. They had to put their foot down.
I think they realized like she had done it so much that the only choices were to sue her or to let her go.
Yeah.
Or to let her go without saying anything as like a courtesy to her for being their number one earner and whatever.
Yeah. All right.
I feel like that's how it ended.
Okay. Next question. Who do you think carries the heaviest burden and blame here? Now, I'd like to emphasize, given the situation, there is no true right or wrong answer here. It really depends on perspective. We're just here again to exchange our thoughts so that we can, learn something from this and, like light bulb in your head. Oh, something like that. All right. I'll start with this. So, in my opinion, the one who carries the biggest blame here. Now, this is my scope. I am weighing against where was this party in a position to prevent this from blowing up. If they were in the position and failed to do so, they have more weight over the situation. Now, by that definition of who has the biggest burden and blame here, I would have to say Rushia.
Probably.
Now, I'll enumerate my reasons. Number one, the most rudimentary reason. Okay, look. On OBS, no, we're not even going there. Rudimentary, okay? Look.
All right.
When you're streaming an OBS, there is a reason why people suggest you do game capture. Whenever you have stuff open in the background, no matter if they are on screen right now or alt tab, game capture makes sure that it only captures, as its name suggests, the game. So, for example, hypothetically, if Chaos was watching some Luong feet video appreciation video while he was playing KOF, that is not going to show on his stream.
No matter what. Yeah,
ever. It is not going to show. If Sheikah was watching some Kaiki's combos, it is not going to show on his stream. Because the game capture is only capturing what he is playing. Even if Sheikah puts that video on full screen, it's not gonna show. It will not. So, in relation to what happened on stream when she collabed with Miko, if she had game capture on GTA 5, even with notifications on, and even if Discord was running like on admin privileges, it will not show up. That message will not have popped up on the upper left corner. It will.
I like that this has like eventually boiled down to using the correct source captures in OBS.
Yes, I mean that's why I'm discussing this, because I want
so
like people who are like people who stream. Like there is a reason why they give you that option.
Yeah, use game capture, guys.
Please use game capture. Okay, but for my I don't self-plug, but for my new setup right now, which is a streamer PC, I have a video capture device. So I need to hotkey something on my laptop. I press a button, it will hide that. It will hide the capture device showing my desktop for whenever, I have to alt tab or something. I have to protect myself.
Yeah. I need to protect myself better. I keep forgetting. I end up showing like my Twitter sometimes. Or,
unless you have to, like, you need to show a tweet or something.
I watch a lot of I watch a lot of videos on my stream.
Or
if
I just
use window cap.
Or a suggestion: use 2 different browsers, one for your personal use and one for.
Yeah, I was thinking of using Chrome for like my stream shit.
Like I use Microsoft Edge. I use Microsoft Edge for my personal use, and I use Google Chrome for
You
VTuber.
use Edge for personal,
It's
monster.
not bad. It's good. It's decent.
Motherfucker.
It's decent.
Look at this. He's using Edge. Look at my god.
It's decent.
I can't believe
See,
it.
Red Maze agrees with me. You know what? I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna fucking say it. Is Blue in the chat? No, he's not. Somebody clip what I'm about to say. If using Microsoft Edge is cringe, I don't want to be based. Yeah, that's right. I said it. I freaking said it. If using... No, you shut up first.
No,
if
use Firefox. What the fuck? Why
if using Microsoft Edge is cringe, I don't want to be based. There, I said it. Chat, clip it, send it to Blue. I don't mind. Okay.
I can't believe what I'm hearing. This is an even bigger controversy. I can't believe it. I'm scandalized.
You don't know who I am.
Who are you?
Alright, but anyway, okay.
I use Firefox for my day-to-day.
Good job.
I use open source
Kudos.
But fuck Google. I don't like Google, but like...
then use...
I know I'm gonna use Edge!
Then find another browser. I was gonna say find another browser.
I'm thinking of using Chrome for like streaming.
Yeah.
And then I'll use Firefox for my normal shit.
Alright.
So, like, yeah. You still use Opera based.
Nice.
That's fine. That's tight.
Alright. So, like I mentioned, that's number 1 reason. Because
honestly, just
basic
like,
OBS mistake. Number 2, she could have talked to her fellow Hololive members, her management, her admins, her IRL friends, perhaps. But why, oh why? I do not know why. Why, why did she go to Japanese Keemstar of all people to talk about this?
It would still have been an NDA violation if she told her friends, but her friends wouldn't have fucking squeaked about it on YouTube. Which is what happened.
Which is exactly what happened. Of all people, why? Why?
It's just like goddamn Rushia.
Why
did string of dumbass decisions?
Why? Why? Of all people to talk to, why did you think it was a good idea to talk to Japanese Keemstar of all people?
Maybe Rushia is a fucking drama hog and she likes his content.
But I'm just like, you do realize that these people don't give a genuine F about you. You could be run over by an actual bus and they will be like, oh my god, this VTuber was run over by a bus. Look at that, chat. Like, exactly.
I remember when the Ukraine war broke out and Keemstar tweeted about it with hashtag drama alert.
Oh my god, can we not go there?
That's just so
I do not look for it, but I'm pretty sure it exists, Mariva. I'm pretty sure people are doing react videos. The wrong kind of react videos.
Oh, to the war?
Yeah.
Yeah, there are. I've seen.
Oh my god.
They're like a new military technology reaction. Of course, it's the fucking gun bros on YouTube who are like making react videos about it.
Exactly. But yeah,
there are just people like that who are just insensitive. You know, like everything's a show. None of it's important, and that's a problem. But yeah, Rushia, what the fuck?
Those are the two heavy. She had 2 chances. All right. She had 2 chances to prevent this from exploding. The first was an honest mistake. I'll give that a pass. But the second one was the most heinous mistake of all.
Just kind of a dumbass at that.
Yeah, the worst thing of all people, you had to pick Japanese Keemstar. Like, what the flying F word? Come on. Why?
Like, that's just being dumb. Like, that's straight up being dumb. Like, you kind of, like, I won't say you deserve it, but you have it coming at that point.
You already had a paint. You already painted yourself a target on your back. When you passed this, when you when you accepted being interviewed by Keemstar, you shot the flare gun, you put the IEM laser on yourself for a precision strike from a freaking AC-130. All right, you were just
It gets worse. It's just
it
like
gets
there's no.
worse. It gets worse. And
She wasn't in a good mental state. I agree. Also,
yeah, she wasn't.
I feel like it's like a. I feel like it was just like a lot of things happening all at once, right? It definitely fits like an. It definitely fits like the story of like a spiral, like just a sudden.
It
like,
was
everything
a
just
bad
getting-
situation, but again, like despite that, I have to look at this objectively. Despite her being in a bad mental state, because I did see the tweets and the leaks of her crying and her really scary suicidal tweets. Yes, I understand that she was in a bad mental state, but we have to look at this objectively when
But
it
if we're
calls
looking at it,
when
I mean-
it calls to be looked at objectively.
If we're
like-
looking at it straight up, whose fault is this? I think we can really say, yeah, she was kind of.
I hate to say it. I'm not saying this easily, but it does point to Rushia. Regardless of her being in a bad mental state, like
even when you're depressed and suicidal, actions are your actions.
like again,
you still
being-
take responsibility for those things.
yeah, like being in a bad mental state as that is, you will do stuff you wouldn't normally do, and you'd make mistakes. Does it make the mistakes any less wrong? No, it doesn't.
It makes a mistake still. There's still mistakes.
They are still mistakes.
Like I understand. I know why it happened, and like I can sympathize.
like for
but
example,
it doesn't mean you didn't do this.
yeah,
you know?
like let's say for example, if you were really mad on stream because you were playing Sekiro, and then you slipped up and said the N-word, does it make saying the N-word any less wrong? No. Like, yes, you have a justification that I was pissed, I wasn't thinking right,
Gamer
I
moment.
slipped up. But you still said it still happened, and the impact is still there.
Heated gamer moment.
Yeah, you, like... Ugh.
Heated gamer moment. Alright. But yeah, Rushia.
Alright, your turn.
I don't like, I feel for the girl. She didn't deserve this.
Definitely
like-
didn't.
Like it happened to her, and like she kind of caused. Well, not she didn't cause it. I would still say that there is a contingent of like.
She
fans
could have prevented
that
it from
caused-
blowing it up.
She start like the things happened because of certain carelessnesses on her part.
Yep.
But I would still say that the bad things straight up were done by other people.
Yeah.
Because like towards her. Like
And,
sure she went to like a Japanese Keemstar kind of guy.
yes. And again, let me.
If she went
go
to
ahead,
friends,
Mhm.
if she went to friends, it wouldn't have happened. But he's also an asshole for doing it. You
Mm,
know.
Absolutely.
So he's still a dick.
Mm.
And like the stuff on OBS, yeah, that's on her fault for not hiding it better. But if she didn't have a large contingent of fans who are like terrible people, who didn't do this, she wouldn't have spiraled into a bad mental state in the first place.
Mm.
I feel like they're like she messed up in certain ways, but like I feel like going 100% that this is all in Rushia is a little bit victim blaming. So
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say it's her fault entirely.
No.
I will say that she has been careless,
Yeah.
and maybe she's not very like smart about internet stuff. I'll say those things,
Yeah. And
but I
just-
won't say that I won't say she did it to herself.
No.
I would say that the people who were shitty did this to her still.
Absolutely. And just to compare, like again, as people would like to say that Dream with the whole Minecraft scandal that he did cheat. Like, do note that he's not the only one to blame here. Like, he still carries a lot of the burden because he lied several times, causing this whole drama to spiral when it was, in the beginning, an honest mistake. At the very start, he had all the reason to believe he's innocent. And based on the evidence that Carl Jobs and the Minecraft speedrunning admin community gathered, he had all the reason to defend himself, and he had all the reason why he thought that his game wasn't modded. There are evidence to point to that, but there's also evidence that points to it being modded. Like, maybe he didn't cheat intentionally, or maybe he forgot it was modded. Now, were there other people to blame here? Of course! It came out that the company he commissioned to make the Minecraft mod, made changes in the mods he never asked for. He never asked for certain things to be included on the mod, but they added it anyway. So yes, there's a blame there. And again, why is it though that Dream still, like, you know, why is he still carries the heavy burden here? Because he lied several times where it didn't warrant, and worse, the lies just made everything worse. Now I'm not saying that in at least me and Mariva, we are not saying that Rushia is not at fault here. No, she has faults where they are warranted. But not everything is her fault. But for me, the weight of what she carries, a lot of it was in her hands. Like, she had the ball and like, yeah, I have a lot of opportunities to not drop it. But good lord, did she not only drop it, she practically yeeted it to the floor.
So look at her story as a cautionary tale.
Yes. Yes.
Like, you know, like Chaos was asking, like, why did she talk to this guy at all? And that's what I said. I said earlier, maybe she was a fan.
Not just that,
you know,
try
maybe
to
she was a fan.
try
Maybe
to
they were
put yourself in Rushia's shoes, okay?
You don't have
Like,
a lot of people to go to.
if I had something I needed to talk to, a personal problem. If I talk to Mariva about this, I trust Mariva. But the problem is, a part of me will be like, she's your friend. Of course she's going to support you.
Mm-hmm.
So you might be tempted to ask someone who has zero investment or connection to you.
To be like I'm right? You're a neutral party, right?
Yeah, you're a neutral party. If you get a neutral party and they say, yeah, you're right, you feel much better because it's from a neutral party.
That's why I'm saying maybe the guy was a fan. Maybe she was a fan of the guy.
Maybe.
Because maybe she trusted that.
Yeah. It could be.
You know a lot about internet events and things.
I'm pretty sure.
Videos. I want to hear what your opinion on this is, but I need you to make sure not to tell anyone. That's the problem.
It's unfortunate that someone is Japanese Keemstar.
That's probably where it went wrong. Yeah.
Next time, get it in writing, Rushia. Get it in writing. Get an NDA.
Yeah. That's why I think like a lot of this is mostly carelessness, not malice. Right?
Mm.
She didn't destroy her whole career on purpose.
No.
You know? And her career is not even dead. It's just her career with Hololive, which is still huge.
Mm.
I mean, all things considered.
And
so, but if we're talking again, like back to the original question, who is to blame? Like, who did the wrong thing? I would still argue that Rushia may have put herself in the position to be taken advantage of by people who do wrong thing.
Yeah.
I would say it's careless. And I would say that she'd have to wise up about that if she wants to keep making internet content.
Yep.
But I wouldn't call her like a bad like she did anything bad or anything.
No, she definitely, as Shika mentioned earlier, she was most likely, and this is 99.9% probably the case, she was not in the right state of mind to make rational decisions.
No, not at all. I don't think so. I think she was really looking for.
She was desperate. She was desperate.
Look, a lot of this right now is like wide speculation. We're just guessing at this point. Because we don't know any of the details, and that kind of brings us to the fact that idol groups like this don't say shit. They really won't. As painful as it is, as annoying as the lack of information is, we're not gonna get anything anymore. This is it.
Yep. This
is all we'll ever know about the Rushia incident, unless down the line Rushia is cleared of her NDA or Hololive decides to reveal it. But for the foreseeable future, at least for the next few years, I doubt we'll know anything about what actually happened behind the scenes.
Yeah.
I doubt we'll know any of their actual reasoning. They're a company, and the company has the right to just keep shit to themselves if they feel like it.
It's in their right.
Especially if it's in their contracts and stuff.
Absolutely.
If they have no governmental obligation to share that information publicly, they won't.
They won't.
Which sucks. you know, I prefer when companies are transparent.
Yeah.
I think we all prefer when companies are transparent.
Absolutely.
But there is still going. But then most companies, like 99% of companies, aren't gonna talk about shit like this. They don't wanna. They don't wanna. Why would I mean? Like, what good would it do to explain to you why they decided to fire her? It would just put them on. It would just put them under more water.
Yep.
Because there will always be a contingent of fans who will then go, I don't think that was bad enough. You know.
Mhm.
I feel like. So there's no way they could have argued their way out of firing Rushia, even if they had the best reasons. If they gave the reasons out, people would have found a way to argue against them, right? Their image would be undermined. This would become an even longer battle, you know, against the fan base.
Oh yeah.
And there would be a larger amount of people who would stop watching. With this like clean kind of break, it just ends. And as much as you want to know more, there's nothing really you can do. It's just over now.
Yeah.
Which is sad. You know, it's sad because we wanna do right by Rushia because she was a very big part of the Hololive world and everything.
Mhm.
But Cover obviously thinks that telling everybody everything would be to their detriment as a company, to their detriment, and probably to the detriment of the other streamers also.
Yes.
So they probably thought that this was the only, like the fact that this sucks, and that it feels unsatisfactory.
There's no win-win situation here.
Is probably because this was the only choice.
Yeah.
If look at Cover. They're one of their largest, most popular streamers decides they want to graduate fully from the company.
Yeah, for whatever reason.
For whatever reason, do their own thing. Coco wanted to leave. They let her. Like, I'm sure it wasn't an easy thing. I'm sure that Coco had to I'm sure they had deals, you know. I'm sure that they had meetings. I'm sure that she had to buy out a portion of her contract, possibly.
The freaking Hololive anime that people are still very worried about. Like, God, I was so hyped for it.
Yeah, all of that stuff, right? They had to do a lot to. I'm sure Coco did a shit ton to get out of Hololive, right? But the fact is that even despite what those difficulties were, they let her and they gave her the ability to graduate with a big send-off from like everybody in JP. Even EN was there.
EN.
You know?
Hell, even ID
was there. Everybody was there.
Everybody was there. I cried.
I cried. I teared up. I watched that shit. I was a streamer by then. Like, you know, we already know that Hololive values their talents so much. You know? They know how important they are to them and to people who watch them. They are their talents. What else do they have? Right? So the fact that they had to just cut Rushia off like this with nothing, like, it really goes to show just how serious the situation was behind the scenes, and how even a graduation would not have been a good idea.
But again, because people love Rushia too much, they don't see things from Cover's perspective. They won't see it from, like, don't get me wrong, Foxtrots and Sunbathers. I love Rushia, but I am not blind to the fact that, again,
NDA is an NDA.
An NDA is an NDA.
NDA is an NDA.
It sucks.
You can't fuck with an NDA.
Dare I say I am not legally obliged to defend someone who breaks NDA.
Yeah, I don't give a shit.
Alright.
I literally don't care.
Yeah, like, hypothetically, if like, let's say, if Square Enix, Yoshi P, I hope you're listening. If Yoshi P like invited me for an early version of the next expansion and he wants me to test it along with other content creators, and then I leak a video, Mariva is not gonna defend me at all, because I wouldn't do the same for her, because I'm just like, was there an NDA? Yes. And you still broke it? Yes. Then you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah, that's what I'd say. You fucking dumbass?
Yeah, you would say that to me. I'd say that with you with the utmost respect. Like, you're still my friend, but that was a fucking dumb thing that you did.
Yeah.
Exactly my point.
I'll put it like this. Like, if I was in Hololive, like, if they hired me, I left and I became a new Hololive person instead, and I was still friends with Inari. Of course, I'd still be friends with Inari, right?
Mm-hmm.
If that situation happened and I told Inari stuff that happened behind the scenes, right?
Mhm.
I'm putting my life in that guy's hands.
Yeah.
You know? Of course, I don't think Inari would tell a soul.
No. I wouldn't.
But that doesn't mean what I did was right, regardless.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, okay, maybe not right, like maybe not smart. It wouldn't be the smart thing to do. It's also a very legally troubling thing to do.
Yeah, at the very least,
Even if
I'm
I
not
was-
Keemstar. At the very
Even
least.
if at the very least, but like if I revealed something Inari because I say I found out something really bad about the company,
Yeah.
and I told Inari under the pretense that I hope you don't fucking tell anybody after I
Yeah.
tell you. It's not Inari's fault if he tells someone else.
Yep.
And it spreads, and
I
it
mean,
gets traced back to me.
Think of it this way. If Mariva was tasked to keeping an eye on, like, financial records, and then she's like, Inari, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. Can you hold on to these records for me? If I lose it, you know who the company's gonna blame?
Me.
Mariva. Why? It was
Why
her
did-
responsibility. It
why
was
did I give it to
her.
him?
Why did you give it to me?
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's the point.
That's really a very simpler example of this.
Yeah.
The
I just
responsibility
wanted to think of
is
all of
primarily on Rushia to not disclose private and confidential information. Did she do it?
Yeah.
Yes. Is it wrong? Yes.
I still think other people were jerks.
Yes, they were
in the
definitely
vicinity of
jerks.
Rushia.
They made the situation worse. I made the situation worse by losing the financial records. But would the financial records be lost if Mariva just kept it? Yes.
No. Oh well.
It wouldn't be lost if she
Oh,
just...
it wouldn't be lost.
Yeah, it wouldn't be lost if she kept it. So,
Yeah.
with that in
Yeah.
mind, would the information be like leaked or whatever if she didn't talk to the third party? No. If she kept the information to herself, it wouldn't have been leaked. Simple as that. Simple as that. But again, just
If
like
Rushia
everything,
didn't say anything, it would have just stopped.
but again, just like everything in life, we are not robots. Humans make mistakes. She was not in the right mental state, which is probably why she did something monumentally stupid.
Yeah.
So even that, though, we still have to include. Even though it's not irrational, it is moral, however. It is moral that we take that into account. Because logically and rationally, it does not make sense. Alright? To make
What does not make sense?
to make a stupid mistake like that.
True.
There is
True.
no, you cannot logically or you cannot logically defend it or rationalize it. It is still a stupid decision. But because
the question is, did she breach contract?
yes,
She did.
Yeah. There's
I
no
mean, you know.
there's no rational logical.
She breached contract.
Yeah,
the
she
fact that
did.
she isn't getting sued for it, as far as we know, is a blessing, honestly.
Yes. But as a fellow human being, we still have a moral obligation to take everything to account, no matter how irrational it is. And the one thing that you can defend Rushia with is that she wasn't in the right mental state. That is her only defense, in my opinion. It's not gonna hold in court if... I really hope it doesn't go to court. But if it does, it is not going to hold in court.
It wouldn't hold in
It
court
wouldn't.
at all. That's
But
not a reason.
it is still our moral responsibility as rational, ironically, paradoxically. We are both rational and irrational creatures. That we take emotion into account into people's actions. Why? Because we are morally driven people. The reason why some people don't do what they do is because morally they disagree with it. It's wrong to do it, not because the law says it's wrong. No. Even the absence of a law can still make something morally wrong. Alright? Like again, saying, is there a law that states I am not supposed to call a person a certain word? If there really is no law, then yeah, it's not illegal. But does it make it any less wrong? Morally speaking, it may not, yeah. Even with the absence of a law or a rule that dictates, is this right, is it wrong? No law says it's right or wrong, okay. But morally speaking, you can say that it's still wrong. What you did was still wrong.
All right. I think that's I think we've said everything about that.
Yeah.
then.
Alright, we still have 3 more questions. Now,
All right, let's go through these.
third question, third to the last. If you were in Cover's place, what would you do?
If I was in Cover's place, I feel like I'd keep a deeper eye on Rushia. I would have checked in with her more. It's hard because it's like, what do you even do if she leaked info? How are you supposed to stop that?
I have an answer to this one. Now, if I were in Cover Corp's place, now hypothetical, let's on the pretense that we do not change the result, and the result is that we terminate the contract. Okay.
Okay.
That's under my pretense. But if you want to change the result, that's totally fine. But my decision is based on the pretense that we do not change the result. The result being that we terminate the contract. Okay?
Yeah.
One, I would word the circular a lot better. That's for certain. The circular sounded very callous and very cold.
Company shit.
Yes, it was very corporate in its wording.
I think that's also why people were so pissed.
Yeah, I would have worded it a lot better. All right, I would have worded it.
It felt like a tax form, you know.
Yes.
It felt like a tax form, but this was your favorite idol getting fired.
Yes. Number two, it wouldn't just be me making that post. Even if it took a month after the incident, because this is what, 2 months? No, 2 weeks. 2 weeks after the incident, termination of contract. If it took a month or two, I don't care. I would have taken that much time to give Rushia a chance to mentally recover, mentally recover, settle down. I would have announced it on the official Hololive Cover Corp Twitter account, but also at the same time, I'll have Rushia post it as well, tweet it at the same time. You know why? It paints a different image. It paints a different image. When Rushia posts it, it means that she knows about it. Like, she doesn't have to tell you that we discussed it. The fact that she posted it already implies that we discussed it and that we came onto this agreement. It paints a better image not just for Rushia, but also not only for Cover, but also for Rushia. Why? People will have less room to speculate. Because when Rushia does not announce it or Twitter like, I have an announcement to make based on this decision by Cover Corp, that simple wording will already shut down a lot of speculation. But because we don't have that, because it was only Cover Corp that made that announcement, there is room for speculation to oh my god, was Rushia even at the table, so to speak, when they discussed this?
Because like I said, I'm pretty sure.
I like to believe that, but
we can't know for sure.
We can't know for sure. Can we speculate? Yes, we can. But if she made the announcement the same time that they did, there'd be less room to speculate. That's number 2. Number three. Now, I would in addition to wording it a lot better, I would have given Rushia the privilege of graduating properly.
I would have.
So the three things I would do. 1, word it a lot better. 2, have Rushia announce it alongside the official channels announcing it. Lastly, I would still give Rushia the privilege, and she still, even if it's an NDA, she still deserves to do this because she is their second. Well, ever since Coco left, she is Cover Corp's biggest earner. She, at the very least, deserves a graduation. Okay? That's basically my the third thing I would do if I was in the position to call out the shots, like what we would do. I would at least give her that graduation. Because honestly, you know what made me hard. I would give that decision? When I watched the stream of Generation 3 sharing their thoughts. I it was tough. It was tough listening to that and watching that. And I'm just like, you know what sucks more? No graduation. Coco had her last hurrah with every generation, and more importantly, the tear-jerking segment where every single member of her generation, had a heartfelt letter for her.
I remember that. That was painful.
Now, before we move on to you, hang on. I just want to mention what Red makes us. I disagree with the graduation. To be sent off with the mark of being terminated, that seems more like a walk of shame than anything, in my opinion. That is completely a fair point.
Yeah.
That is completely a very fair point. I agree. But again, that's your opinion, this is my opinion. And hey, I'm a very civil kitsune. You have good points in what you said. I agree. Yeah. I agree with that take. It's not a bad take at all. Definitely.
Yeah.
But again, this is what I would do. Why? Because I care too much. There, see? I said it. I care too much. I care too much for the well-being of the talents. More so than the image of what we're doing. Like, sure, it may look weird that you terminated her contract and you're letting her, like, almost celebrate it. Not necessarily. But I care about the ramifications of not letting her do one last goodbye. I care about that more. That's my take. But Red Maze, you have a point there. It's a very good point. Alright? Okay. Mari, your turn.
It's hard, right? Because I do dream of that too for Rushia. I just like I remember reading through the letter and thinking, no, like, not only is she getting fired, no graduation. Like, I thought that hurt, dude. That was like that was really bad. But if I'm reading into the situation right, and like what Red May said, if this situation was as serious as Cover is suggesting in their posts and things like that, I would say giving her a graduation on top of everything would almost be like saying that it's fine what you did. You know, it's kind of being like I'm sure there were people internally who wanted Rushia to have her moment also.
Yeah.
I'm like 100% sure. I'm like in an ideal world where it wasn't this bad, she would have gotten it. She would 100% have gotten it.
She would.
If this was just about whether Rushia the idol deserved to have a send off, every idol deserves a send off. Every idol deserves a graduation. When they leave. But in the case of like if she was doing something really bad that really hurt the company over a period of time, it would be they can't let Rushia set a precedent that it's like almost like saying if you make enough money for the company, then you're allowed to break the rules. If the contract says termination, if you break NDA, then you better terminate her when she breaks NDA.
Definitely.
I honestly I think that if it sucks, and I wish she didn't break NDA.
Yeah, all the things to do.
Straight up, that's the worst. That's like one of the worst things you can do. I wish she didn't break NDA, but she graduates,
it is exactly what she did.
If she graduates, that's like telling the other idols, "Oh yeah, you just make enough money and you can break the rules too." And I've said it before. I don't like companies. I don't like corporations.
Yeah.
But regardless, rules are rules. These are the rules these are rules you literally paid to play with. So it's like what's the best way I can say this? I don't like that it's so cutthroat with businesses like this, but I know why they do it. I know what their motivations are. I know that just seeing Rushia as like not an idol, Rushia as an employee and Cover as a business, this was the correct
This was
decision to
definitely a
make
correct
on an
decision.
employer-employee. Again, the fact that
And
they're not suing her is leniency
yeah,
already.
and the fact that, let's imagine Rushia in this image as she's been employee of the month for how many months in a row. The fact that they just terminated her like that, it must have been a very difficult decision. Again, I'm not
100%.
defending, but I'm pretty
100%.
sure it was a very difficult decision. But they were,
Even if this was Hololife's bottom earner, I'm sure it would have still been difficult.
yeah,
You know, I like just like, yeah, on the business standpoint,
but
you shouldn't get special treatment for being number one.
yeah,
If you fuck up, you fuck
yeah,
up.
if you fuck up, you fuck up. But primarily also the reason why I scroll up Chica, you can read it. The reason why I mentioned that also is because I want to make, like, I wait because both decisions are not the best. Letting her graduate properly, or just, yeah, you're done.
Or yeeting her, yeah.
Yeah, yeeting her or letting her graduate. Both have their merits and both have their minuses.
Yeah.
But I'm of this philosophy. This is not a very easy philosophy to live by, but it's something I live by. If I'm going to make a decision I will regret either way, I will make the decision that I'll regret doing. I'll regret less.
I get that.
And personally, again, this is why, in my opinion, I also would not make a good corporate VTuber, because I am pro-consumer. I'm not pro-company. I'm pro-consumer. And again,
I know why they did. I mean,
look at it from my perspective.
Yeah.
If I do not let Rushia graduate properly, and somewhere down the line, something bad happens to her, I will be haunted by that. Like, I could have prevented this.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Indeed.
There are a lot of things that can happen worse if I didn't let her graduate than if I let her graduate and it looks bad for us. That is something I weigh. Like, what will I regret less? And again, you might think, Yoko, you're exaggerating what could happen. Yes! Right. Like,
but you have to look at the extreme.
Like, you have to look at the extremes. Look, is there a possibility that Rushia will, I hate to say it, off herself if she graduates properly? Much less. We don't know what will happen down the line. But not to avoid responsibility. But if that did happen, and we did let her graduate, it's much less on us. Like, we can say, hey, we let her do what she wanted and practically gave her a get out of jail free card by letting her graduate despite what she did. But if we don't do anything, if we just yeet her and she offs herself, it paints a big target on us, even though it's not our fault. And again, you're thinking too extreme. I can't help but think of the extreme. Because my whole philosophy about making bad decisions, when you are in a lose-lose situation, a tough decision, something that will put your mind in a little bit of ease. You make the decision, you'll regret less. Alright? You'll regret less. And to do that, to properly weigh that, sometimes you really have to think of the extremes. You really, really have to think of the extremes.
I understand why Cover would make this decision.
Yes, I completely understand.
I mean, and like, yeah. And I think also it's
yeah. And there's a reason also why you have a committee making these decisions. You have a committee to make these decisions. Maybe some people would have done what I suggested. Maybe they would have let her graduate. But because majority voted no, it's still a fair vote.
It's like, how do I say this? She must have done something that really like fucked up her contract.
Yes.
Because I've read case studies of idols in Japan from like big idol groups, like AKB,
Yeah.
who get caught with like drug possession, which was really huge which is huge in Japan and huger in the 90s, right?
Yeah.
They get caught with drug possession. They get dragged through newspapers and mass media on a level that is nothing like what Rushia is going through.
Yeah.
And then they do an apology. They disappear and do some sort of like social work or whatever for like a while. Go to jail even, and then they come back. And then they still come back eventually somehow, right? It's not impossible. Idol scandals, they happen. Like, this is not the first scandal, like we'll talk about later. This is not the first idol, this is not the first VTuber scandal, and this is definitely not the first
gonna
idol
be the
scandal.
last. It's not gonna be the
Idol
last.
scandal is important to idol culture.
Yeah.
When your standards for people are this stringent, when your business standards are also this high, people will break them, and you can always make a show out of it, which is something that was way worse back in the day, but it's still something that happens. In some level, we're still profiting off of the failures of our idols.
And I want to add something to what Redmayne said. The extremes are still a chance, so it makes sense to even take it into account. Think of it this way. If Mariva was building a space rocket that will be used for her space stream,
I have a space stream.
If there was a 0.1% chance that the engines will fail, do you really think she's going to take that chance going into space?
I don't even want to go to space that way.
I know, yeah, but let's say that you were gonna do it. Let's say you were commissioned to do a space stream.
Oh, by commission, huh?
You wouldn't!
I wouldn't. No, I turn that shit
No,
down.
you're gonna make sure that that thing is 100% gonna work.
Some people will take that chance.
Some might, but you wouldn't.
That's right.
So again, like, that's why I think of extremes when making difficult decisions.
Yeah.
Like, it's just 0.1%. No, what is at stake when you say it's just 0.1%?
I would still argue also.
Look, let's compare. And again, like, let's compare a 0.1% situation, okay? I just hop-kicked Mariva 99 times. What's the chance that I'm not going to do it on the 100th time? 1%. Would she really risk that chance? She's going to block. She is going to block. That's just a fighting game. It's just 1%. What do you lose? You lose a match. Potentially, you lose the prize pool in a tournament, okay? Going to space. Life is at stake. Would you really gamble your life on a 1% chance or even a 0.1% chance? Would you? And here's the thing. I choose to be cold in this statement. It's your life, it's your decision. Which is why it's a good thing decisions like this, like for Rushia's contract, it's a good thing it's based on a committee. At least I think it was based on a committee. I think that there was a management team in charge of making this decision. Because if one person had decided this, oh my god, I wouldn't agree with that decision regardless. I would be at peace of mind if more people were like, yeah, this decision was based on among 30 people, 20 agreed to make this decision. That would sound a lot better for me.
I think again that what it boiled down to in the end was business.
Yep, definitely.
Because I can already see what's I can already see how it went, where they probably at some point wanted to give Rushia a graduation, but if I was an investor in HoloLive,
yeah, you would have said
and
no.
I saw HoloLive considering even treating a talent more important than, say,
the company,
a janitor in the office or something for the same thing, right? It would put out a message that these employees are more important than those employees.
Yeah. I completely agree with that take.
And I think that's essentially why they did it this way.
Yeah.
And like, I think as far as as far as like Rushia's like mental health situation and all of that, I do agree that this probably isn't good for her mental health.
This would have been an easier decision if it was like a month or 2 months earlier. This was literally made 2 weeks after the incident. Barely 2 weeks. Barely.
Like if it was,
2 weeks.
Yeah, if it was just that, right? If it was just like what's Rushia's welfare only, then of course the graduation was the best option.
Yes.
Of course.
Yeah. She was practically bawling her eyes in one of her tweets that went, that was leaked. Like,
if you are again, if you're a person who is running this company, let's even assume you're an ethical person running this company and not somebody just after the money. Say you're a person who cares, right? And let's say that you have fired people in the past for NDA breaking, because it happens, right? Sometimes people break NDA and they have to get fired. It's a contract, right? And you let her go. What message does that send to like the other talents? What message does that send to the people in your office? What does that send to management? What if somebody in management was leaking secrets? They'd have to go too, right?
They'd have to go.
Even if they were the best manager. If you were the CEO and you leaked secrets, you'd be fired.
You'd be fired for sure.
Yago would be fired.
He should be. He should be.
And Yago should be fired if he leaked info, even accidentally.
As much as he is the face, as much as he's the public face and people love him. Yeah, I would understand why they let him go.
He'd be fired by
even unceremoniously, I would understand.
Yeah. He'd be fired by the owners of the company. And from a business standpoint, even if Yago offed himself, that would still have been the decision, I bet.
Yeah. And also to even add to your point, when you're looking at this as the head of the company, do note that Hololive has roughly 50 plus talents. When making a decision that affects one talent,
you have to look how it affects.
You have to look how it affects the rest. So yeah, we're making sure that what is best happens to this one talent. But what if by doing so, I have literally made the lives of 50 talents worse?
Let's even say that they decided to do it.
Yeah.
They gave Rushia the graduation she deserves, and she left. Right.
And let's say hypothetically, the 50 other talents were like, sure, please do it. And then
I can still imagine like a couple of ways that this would be hard.
Yeah.
I can imagine the comment section alone in that graduation would be hell.
It would
because
be. It would
for just the situation. I'm sure a lot of people would be nice, but I'm sure a lot of people would not.
Yeah.
On top of that, it's like what's the message for everybody else? What kind of vibe would the graduation even have?
Yeah.
It's an NDA breaking graduation.
It is.
And you smile through it.
No.
It's like you said, you really fucked up and we're firing you. Now dance, monkey. It's like I really don't see how this goes good. Like if there was a graduation.
Yeah, I agree.
I really think it's like it's the most callous, it's the most emotionless, and God, it's the most.
It would be the most awkward and weirdest graduation ever.
But it would be worse, I think, if they did something. So, I mean, I'd like to live in the world where it was good.
Yeah, the reason though I did say that is because of the timing. The timing is just very bad for this announcement.
They could have given her a bit of time.
They should have given her a bit of time.
They were in a rush, dude.
Yeah.
They wanted her out. I think like they were worried. Maybe they were worried of like what the impacts would be if she was still an employee technically.
Yeah.
Right.
I agree.
Otherwise, what?
I'm pretty sure. But I'm also pretty sure that the shareholders or the stakeholders were like, we need to resolve this situation quick before our investors come forcing our hand, so to speak.
You don't want the advertisers to not.
Yeah, exactly.
You want them to go. You want them to go. This is great. Here's more money, and then you go, "Yay!" That's it. That's what you want. You don't want them to be like. Hey,
like I said, this is why I discussed this, because see, we have different ideas on how we would deal with it, but we are both learning and rationalizing why this is our takes. It goes to show how complicated this issue actually is, because people just dismiss it as cover
bad.
cover bad. Like, no, it's not that easy.
It's
All right.
not that easy. As much as I'd like to say all corporations are evil, by default, and I still think they are, but I know why they do things.
Yeah.
People who work in companies aren't evil. It's the structure.
Think of it this way: as much as you love whatever company that may look altruistic in what they do note that their goal in the end is to make more money so the business keeps going. Would you want your favorite company, for your video game company, to go bankrupt? No.
They don't either.
they don't either. They don't either. So when certain situation calls for them to be a little bit, like, yeah, we need to focus a bit more on we can't be too generous every time.
Yeah.
You have to look at it from their perspective as well. All right? But of course,
I don't like that it has to be like this.
Yes.
I'm not saying that, I'm not saying that all of these business decisions are like good things to do.
No.
In fact,
no.
I would say that it's bad.
Yes.
I would still argue, like, in an idealist kind of way, I don't think you should be fired for violating an NDA.
Yeah.
I like especially if there are circumstances that blah blah blah, right?
Yeah, but because the livelihood of a company, and God knows how many people's livelihood who work there are literally running on the decision of whether or not do we fire this person or not, you have to make that decision.
Yeah.
All right.
It's just, but I know why the decision's made. Yeah. I don't like the decision. I don't like that companies are like this. But I know why they would do this. It's like, like, of course they would do this.
All right. Penultimate question. So, do you think an indie VTuber can experience something as bad as this?
100%.
Yes.
Of course.
Imagine, I agree.
It's worse. It's worse. If she was indie, this would be worse. Who would she go to? And after the issue is done, she can't even like, what will she do? End her career? People know who she is. Where's she gonna go?
Yeah, that's true.
She doesn't even have like the ability to run away from it if she was indie, which is like, honestly, like an even worse situation for her. Being indie is all of the bad shit from being corpo if you're big, except when shit goes down, it's just you.
It's
by yourself.
Yep.
It's just you by yourself in your computer screen and thousands of terrible people trying to make your life hell.
Yeah.
It's no wonder that it's harder.
Fallout would be harder and worse. She'd lose face and not really get the chance to change it.
Who are the biggest indies I like?
Right off the top of my head, Kason.
Kason would have a hard time now, comparatively. If Kason got wrapped up in the Taiwan thing now, instead of when she was in Hololive, do you think she'd have been able to deal with it?
I don't think so.
By herself? Did you see how many people were on her ass? What, was she gonna make a statement?
No.
Idols on our level don't make statements. We just tweet.
Yeah.
Right? We don't have a letterhead. There's no semblance of legitimacy.
And remember, her chat was in a very bad state when that happened.
Yeah,
it was terrible. Really, really bad.
Real shit.
Now,
and look
it
at
was
how
good. It was good for her that she had friends nearby. But if she was indie,
if she was alone, it would have been hard. It would have been hard.
Just make an apology video. Pan, that's it's not that simple.
Look at how far.
I don't know if that's a sarcastic comment, but for the sake of the theme of this talk, that's not gonna work. That is not gonna work.
Look at how far.
It depends on the gravity of the situation. All right.
Look at how far Hololive went for Coco after the Taiwan incident.
Yeah.
They dissolved Hololive China in the end after everything.
Yeah. They even told. I'm pretty sure the reason why Coco stopped Asa Coco was because of that.
Yeah.
But look at it this way.
Yeah.
Let's.
Wait, I want to make one more.
Alright, go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. Hololive China. China's a big money maker, but they decided because of Coco. And because of what they saw as the support towards Coco, that keeping her around
is much more important.
Was better than keeping China around as a country.
Yeah.
which I think was the right bet in the end. I think
Definitely.
Hololive English as a thing, they decided to bet on the international English community instead of the Chinese community, and they made off like bandits because of it. You know? But then that's basically Hololive choosing to believe in their talents, which they always tend to do if you notice. That's why I can't just honestly believe that they wanted to get rid of Rushia for bullshit, you know?
Yeah. Sheikah, I'm gonna continue. I'm gonna let Mariva continue with her point and my point. But what the hell do you mean by? What the hell do you mean by they found Holo Sea and were spies? What the hell does that mean? Anyway, keep going.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Keep going. Keep going, Mariva.
Go. Oh yeah. Basically, that was my whole point.
Okay.
It was about. It's like, yeah. Why would they have shown consistently in the past that Hololive is about their talents. They know that their talents are their everything.
Yeah.
And they've shown consistently in the past that they're willing to give up some income streams if it means believing in their talents a bit more.
Okay.
So yeah.
Now think of it this way. All right, like we mentioned earlier, Pan mentioned earlier, just make an apology video, and I'm like, I don't know if that's a troll comment or sarcastic or whatever, but
also, Sheikah, American viewers are very imperialized in their views too. It's just a different imperium.
Exactly. And again, I don't know what the heck spies mean. What are you implying here? Anyway, I still want to hear from you, Sheikah, because I'm confused. Anyway,
that's a bold accusation, source.
Exactly. Anyway, so
it was revealed to me.
Again, apology video. Not to say that you shouldn't do one, but
if you're indie, you should
think of the weight of what you did. All right, hypothetical. If I said a racial slur, apology video, would it be enough? Yes.
Heated gamer moment.
Yep. Gamer moment, apology video, yes. It was a joke, but also there are... Yeah, okay, I knew it. Okay, I trusted you, thank God. Anyway, Mariva, hypothetically, let's say that she... cheated a speedrun of Minesweeper. Apology, would it be enough? And let's add on top of that, just like me, if I got...
right now.
Yeah, like, let's say I got suspended from Twitch for my gamer moment. Mariva gets maybe suspended or worse, banned from speedrunning Minesweeper officially.
Minesweeper.
And then apology video. I think that's enough. But she should still be able to stream and, you know, whatever.
I could even maybe appeal the ban.
Yeah.
Down the line.
Yeah, she can maybe. And sorry to tangent. Sheikah, Pan already answered my question to him. It's your turn. What the hell do you mean by Holocene or spies? I need to know what you mean. Alright, so continuing off. So Mariva hypothetically cheating in a speedrun of Minesweeper. Apology video, is that enough? Yeah, I think so. Me match fixing. On top of my fine and my ban from competitive, apology video, as long as it's very sincere, I think it's enough. But if Mariva leaked, let's say Mariva leaked the I don't know, the relationship status of Dippin' Blue and Enzarock, and that just spiraled the whole Enzarock's Dippin' Blue fan community into a big shitstorm. I don't think an apology video is gonna be enough for that one, Chief.
Lol.
Because, again, an apology video can only do so much. And for something as serious as an NDA... I don't think it's gonna cut it. There has to be serious consequences for that on top of just, you know... an apology video. Like, ugh. Again, it's very complicated. But yeah, apology videos are the solution to everything. Sheikah, that's not spying. That's literally called shit-talking people behind their backs. Dude.
What did he say?
Hang on.
Where Halsey talking bad about Coco on
What I
alt?
mean is the one of the idols not naming. She was basically pushing pressure onto Coco. Yeah, Pan, that's what I mean. That's what I was talking about. Pan just said, I can't speak for its validity, but I've seen some posts about the Hosian girls talking bad about Coco on their alts. Dude! Sheikah, for the love of God, please choose your words properly, man. Calling Holosi Spice is a different tone than saying they shit talk Coco behind her back. Alright? Please choose your words properly. I cannot be there all the time to set you straight. For the love of God, please choose your words properly, man. Please. Please, okay? For the love of God.
Oh my God, Chica,
please. Alright. Now that our points have been...
Shit talking is not illegal yet, Chica.
Exactly, Red Maze, please, thank you. Louder for Sheikah. English may be hard, but context matter. Yes, please. Okay. Final question, finally.
Final question.
Moving forward, what do you think should cover do to prevent this from happening? And what should talents do to make sure that this doesn't ever happen again?
Do you want to go first or me?
I'll go first.
Yeah, I have to think of it.
Alright, so moving forward, what cover should do, if I trust what Mariva mentioned, if they are sincere in when they say that they are trying to, if not move away from the idol image, maybe make the idol identity less restrictive. That is one. That is one proper thing that they are doing that they should do. Number two, I think they need to make a seminar for everyone. How to protect your identity 101. Step 1, use game capture. Especially if they are running on a single PC setup. If they are using a 2 PC setup, which I will try tomorrow, yes, they need to run a seminar on how to protect their identity when doing that. They really need to teach their talents how to protect their identity. Alright? Those two things. Now, what should talents do to make sure this doesn't ever happen again? Now, as I suggested, use different browsing engines for different accounts. Alright? So use browser 1 for your personal use, browser 2 for your streamer use, so to speak. All right? It will probably not guarantee that nothing will get leaked, but it will drastically reduce the chances of anything serious getting leaked. Like, let's say for browser 1, you have your Facebook on, your public Facebook. At least, if you set your window capture to show like a YouTube video you wanted to watch with your chat, at least it is on browser 2, which has your VTuber Twitter, your VTuber YouTuber account. That's it.
I'm only signed into my VTuber Twitter.
Exactly. So yeah. So there is drastically almost no risk that anything public in your info will be revealed, at the very least. Alright?
Only use your VTuber Discord for VTuber shit.
Yes.
Well, people already know that. Honestly, it's such a fucking hassle to sign in between Discord accounts, so I wish they would make it easier to switch accounts. Then I'd actually use my personal one more.
Okay. As for the talents, well, I already mentioned one. Another, for the talents, I think, or better yet, you can leave your personal stuff for later. Close it, put your focus on your stream. Yeah, I also do that. Whenever I stream, I close browser 1. The only browser that's on is the one I use. Like, if I need to pull out a video that I want to watch with chat, it's ready. Other than that, I would say also, I think it is time for, like, I mean, esports teams have esports houses where they live under one roof.
You want a streamer house, though?
I think, and streamers do this.
I know.
I think, and again, to some extent, Coco did do this with Kanata and who else lived with them? Was it Suisse?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they did do that at one point, and
I think they're still aren't they still?
they still are. They are moving together though. They are moving out together.
Yeah, but
yes,
it's like, they're still friends. I mean,
they are still friends. Yeah, they live
still
together.
living.
So I'm like, I think it is time for them to live under one. I think not, of course, not. Gen 5 lives together under one roof. No. Doesn't have to go that far. But I think there should be a program in HoloLive where talents do not live alone. So that when something like this happens with Rushia, there is immediately at least more than one person in the immediate vicinity to make sure this shit doesn't happen. So basically, hypothetically, let's say Rushia lives with Marin and Pecora. And I'm pretty sure they found out quite fast what happened. What would have happened? Easy. Marin would have probably unplugged Rushia's computer. Pecora would have probably gotten Rushia's cell phone and they'll talk to her. Alright? That's one thing that they can do in the long run. You can prevent stuff like this because, again, the Uruha Rushia incident, what was the whole cause of the issue? Human error. She was not... What?
Human error!
Yeah, human error. She was...
Human error!
Human error. She was not in the right state of mind. She literally talked to...
A bad guy.
I don't want to say scum of the earth. She really literally talked to... She literally talked to Japanese Keemstar. Alright? Alright? So, human error. All of that can be simplified to human error. So, if you had people around you, so hypothetically, if I was in a streamer house with, say, Blue, Mariva, and Sheikah, and
I'm in the house.
Yeah, and let's say Sheikah had a very bad take.
Oh, Sheikah.
Yeah, let's say Sheikah had a very bad take. What would I do? I would grab Sheikah by the collar, dude. Dude, we're going out to eat and talk over this. Libre ko, shut up. I'll libre you. We talk about this shit. All right. So he is away from he is away from his computer.
Take him outside.
All right. He is away from his computer. Blue and Mariva can make sure that can just check his computer. Like, is there any social media account on or whatever? No. Okay. Good. What can I do with Sheikah? Sheikah, give me your phone. Like right now, give me your phone. Give me your fucking phone.
We're gonna tell everyone about Kai. No, shut the fuck up.
We're gonna talk about this. No, we're gonna talk about this. The cat is out of the bag. Now we have to do damage control. All right, give me your phone. Give me your phone. We're gonna talk about this. See, this is just a hypothetical situation about a bad take. This is not about, oh my god, GFE streamer allegedly has a boyfriend/girlfriend. All right. That's way worse than potentially what bad takes Sheikah might have, alright? So yeah, at least Sheikah had people like me, Mariva, and Blue in the immediate vicinity for damage control. But, hypothetically, I think Rushia does live alone. Because she lived alone, no one was there to do damage control. And that's ultimately why Rushia was, quote-unquote, allowed to make these very bad mistakes. I don't make bad takes. Sheikah, you are a friggin' liar. You don't make bad takes? No, you have made bad takes in the past. And let me get this straight. There's nothing wrong with making a bad take. People have bad takes. People have bad takes.
It's okay to be cringe sometimes.
Yes, exactly. There are reasons why people will still share bad takes. Because, like, no one's going to agree with you with your take. That's why it's a bad take. But does it make the take any less wrong? No.
Could be wrong sometimes.
But yes, it could be wrong sometimes. It could be wrong sometimes, though. It could be wrong. It could be wrong. But anyway,
it's not that the bad take. It's not that if a take is bad, that in and of itself makes it wrong.
exactly. Like again,
but a bad take could be wrong.
Exactly, a bad take could be wrong. Like if you tweeted out that Jean is a bad character in Genshin Impact, dude, you're gonna get cancelled by a lot of people in the Genshin Impact community so fast before you can even get a 4-star pity, not 5-star, 4-star pity, 4-star. You'll get cancelled so fast before you can even make a 4-star roll. But anyway, jokes aside, the important thing is when you're living with other people, especially with other streamers that, know you with friends and whatnot, damage control is practically assured. We don't know how big they would have prevented this from happening, but at least to some measure, it would have helped. Maybe Rushia would have not talked to Keemstar. Would it still cause Hololive to, do their internal investigation? Yes, she probably would have had a dressing down like, yo, what the hell did you do? It still would have been there. But
she probably would have still been fired.
Maybe. But at least the drama caused by Japanese Keemstar would not have happened.
I do believe that. Yeah, if she didn't tell that guy, I don't know if it would have been this bad.
Yes, and Pan, the problem with Marin and Gen 3 seemed like they were really trying to help. Here's the problem. She still lives alone. They can only do so much online. I can't tell Mari, hey Mari, turn off your phone so that you don't do any more bad takes. Can I really guarantee that Mari is gonna turn off her phone? No, I
gotta
can't.
Look at some hot anime titties.
Exactly. I cannot say for sure. Like, yeah, I trust. Hypothetical. Maybe Marin and Pecora was like, Rushia, please don't tell anyone else. And Rushia might have been 100% sincere when she said, don't worry, I won't tell anyone. And then the next minute, they tell Japanese Keemstar. That would not have happened if Pecora and Marin were there. Maybe not 100%. Maybe it wouldn't have happened 100%, but it would not have happened. Less likely, much less likely. It would have.
I like that we've just been calling this dude Japanese Keemstar all day.
Yeah.
All right, my turn.
Yeah, of course. Your turn.
All right, let's see. What cover should do next, right? If they don't want this to happen again, the easiest option would be to limit the amount of shit the idols know about.
Yeah.
But it's also contingent on what if the idols need to know it, right? But I do think, I guess, do a better job vetting what exactly do we even need to tell the idols?
Yeah.
Versus what do they not need to know about? Of course, if they're involved in making a product or whatever, then yeah, of course they have to know about it. They're making it, right? But if it's anything else, do they need to know? Sure, it fosters more of an environment of feeling like you're being left out of your own company, but maybe things are need to know, I would also I like your idea about, what was it, seminars, just basic employee training, right? I think that should be part of the employment process. You're getting a job, you're a streamer, but there should be a job, there should be a quiz, fuck it, test them, they should know what they need to do, and I feel like they should be warned harsher of the ramifications if they don't do it.
Exactly.
Because it could be possible that they just weren't afraid enough of the consequences. It's like Rushia wasn't afraid enough of what could happen if she let things slip, right? She was just like, oh, I know it's bad, but
it can't be that bad.
I can risk
it. You were wrong, Rushia. But
she was wrong. It was worse.
Again, this is on the hypothetical that maybe she didn't think it would be that bad.
Yeah, but this is all contingent on hypotheticals. But then, I guess the most straightforward way is to, number one, don't give them access to the information to begin with if you can help it.
Yeah, any crucial information that they do not need to know, don't let them know.
It's
kind of like Oh my god! Little Jimmy shot himself in the foot. How? We bought he got the gun
off the wall and
off the
shot
wall.
himself
Yeah,
in the foot.
maybe don't put the gun within reach of the child. Maybe
don't buy a gun
or don't buy a gun.
Yeah. Right. All of these things. It's just like, how do you keep bad things from happening? It's prevention is better.
Yeah, prevention's definitely better.
Prevention's better than warnings. Make it impossible for it to happen, and then it won't. But it's not 100% possible in all circumstances. Of course, they have to know some things.
Yep.
But yeah, just like be better about limits, right? At least consider like, how, like what things do the talents need to know, and how much can we afford to lose, if ever.
Yep.
You know, and figure out a balance between there. I guess it's just like a thought process, at least for the companies. I think I have a better idea though for the other end of it as a talent. Like what's a good way as a talent to prevent this kind of thing from happening? And this is advice not only for the Hololive girls, but for anybody who does any kind of streaming or thing where they keep secrets or well, maybe not secrets, but where there's like a high degree of like keeping your personal shit private.
Yeah.
Here's a tip. Trust nobody up in this bitch. Understand? Don't say shit. Never snitch. If you can't choke them right now with your bare hands, don't tell them anything.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it.
I promise if you do that, nothing bad will ever happen in terms of keeping secrets.
Good point.
But it's not realistic. Of course, I mean, of course you have to temper that.
Yep. Thank you for the hydrate, Chica, by the way, and everyone in the chat also who did it. Thank you.
Of course, you'll have to temper that based on like stuff like, of course, maybe you need real advice. In which case, get people you trust. Of course, like, but then like number one, make sure you trust them. You know. Like make sure these are fucking lifelong friends who would never betray you. Like people who would rather die than spill your secrets, right? How many people can you count? How many people on your hand do you have that are like that? I think I have like 2 max. Maybe 1. You know?
Whoa.
That I would trust with my secrets. And that if those people told me like damning secrets, I would die before I told other people. Right? It's a very short.
You're one of them, Mari, on my list.
That's nice. I'm gonna be real with you, not even you.
No, I don't take offense to that. It's okay.
Yeah, I'm just very.
You're very protective. It's fine.
I'm high on the degree of don't trust anybody in this.
Yeah,
way.
like honestly, if you think that you cannot trust me with whatever secrets you have, that's your call, and that's totally fine. If anything, I see it as I don't want to burden you with something so serious. That's how I translate it. Instead of like, I don't trust you, instead of translating it as I don't trust you, it's more like, it's gonna be a burden if I tell you, and I don't want you to share that burden. That's how I see it. That's how I see it.
I put it like this for you, Inari, is that I trust you a lot more than I trust a lot of people. You're not in my top 3, but you're in my top 10.
That's good enough for me. That's good enough for me.
You're pretty up there. Congratulations.
I mean, like, again, I pride myself because I have been told by a lot of friends that I have a good ear. Like, if there's one thing I have a talent for, it's listening to people.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So yeah, I'm glad that you do. And if there are things you simply don't trust me with telling, I don't take offense to that.
Yes. But anyway, I really do think Hololive should have counseling. Yes. They should have a fucking therapist on payroll. 100%. If they don't, then that's terrible. That's probably the worst fucking thing
honestly, ever. Especially when we saw the tweets on her real account about Rushia thinking about offing herself, it definitely would have helped if real people were around her, like gen mates or even her closest friends among Hololive. It would have helped if there was someone there to talk to her.
Yeah.
To pamper her or whatever.
Well, I think if there's one piece of advice, more than anything, that I would give to people, it's that don't trust nobody or trust
Do
difficult.
not take if
trust hard.
Yeah, I'll add to that. If trusting someone is a risk, don't even take the risk. Like, you ask yourself, like, for example, what are the risks if I trust Mariva with a certain piece of information? If I don't see any risks, then I think it's good. But if there's even a hint of risk, I'm not gonna do it. So yeah, my advice is, again, if trusting someone is a risk, do not take that risk. All right, do not take that risk. If you genuinely think, oh, it's okay. We're practically ending anyway.
Yeah.
But yes,
right.
But you have to go now, or?
Well, we can wrap it up.
Yeah, like give me 3 minutes. We'll end in 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Go.
So again, like Mari said, trust is literally the most important thing as, I guess, a VTuber or a streamer. Alright? And again, do not forget that incident where a Genshin Impact player that has spent thousands of dollars on their account leaked information, a video, to their friend, and their friend leaked it, and guess who got the short end of the stick? The first guy.
Yeah.
Because his ID was on the video. And he trusted this person. This person's like, whatever. And he has no legal, argument against his friend.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So yeah, again, you really have to choose wisely who to trust. And better yet, if there's a risk in trusting someone, it's better to not trust them. Or if you don't want to feel bad about not trusting someone, you don't have... When you trust someone, it doesn't mean you have to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
Yeah, alright? So just because I trust Mariva, I'm not gonna give her my 4 digits and the 3 digits at the back. No fucking way! No freaking way! Alright? Trusting someone doesn't mean, yeah, I'll tell you everything about myself. No. Alright. And that has been 3 hours and 40 minutes of Shrine Talk with yours truly, Inariyoko, and of course, everyone's favorite Techno Neko, Mariva. Thank you so much thank you so much for being my guest, in discussing this.
I thought this was fun. Well,
yes.
Okay, no, some parts of it were sad, but I thought that this was important at least.
Yeah, it definitely was important.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'll give the red carpet to you for now. Mariva, you want any shout out or any promotion that you want to do?
I don't really have anything to promote that's special right now. Come to the stream, twitch.tv/Mariva with 4 A's at the end.
Yep, I already did the shout out. I'll do it again.
Yep, Mariva. Come over, watch the stream. I'm gonna be playing fighting games. I think tomorrow. Then
yeah, your schedule did say
yeah,
GG and KOF.
Yeah, I got a collab on Friday with my girl friends. I've got ASMR on Sunday.
Nice.
Just the usual stuff. I'm trying to get my life back in order.
Nice.
Because I kind of had a tough week last week.
Yes.
But basically that's mostly it. I'm probably gonna play a lot of Elden Ring off stream, but because I very greatly doubt I'm gonna pass the bosses.
And may I just take this chance to say, Mari, Mari, it is glad to see you in higher spirits.
Thank you. I am feeling a lot better.
Right.
I'm still gonna rest a bit, but I am
At
feeling
least you're in a better condition now.
Yeah.
Well,
things are less stressful.
Yes. And of course, you did reward yourself with a VR set, so there's that.
Yeah, baby, that shit's got me through so much.
Yes.
Oh, it's so good.
Now, for yours truly...
I'm holding it right
now.
now.
There's 2 Marivas still. Well, let me just...
That's
all right. Yeah, okay, fine. It's fine. You're kind of blocking the schedule, but anyway, it's okay. So, Wednesday is gonna be FPS Wednesday. I'll see what I'll play that day. Thursday and Friday is gonna be Elden Ring.
I can pull multiple girls, you know it, geek.
Yeah, I have been playing a bit of Elden Ring off stream. But I haven't really I just been doing basic stuff, so yeah.
Elden Ring.
All right, Elden Ring.
I love Elden Ring.
Elden Ring, Elden Stream, Elden VTuber.
Oh, hard. I think my controller broke.
Oh fuck.
Gotta be keyboard more. I hate it.
Controller fund goal.
God, I need a new controller. I need a new fucking webcam. This sucks. VTuber guy. I voted for Strive Sheik guy. I know it's happening. All right.
And that is it for today's stream.
Yay!
I will see if I'll stream later because I do want to try my 2 PC setup.
Yeah.
Yep. Jill, my shoebox rig Jill has always been hard work, but I think I need Wesker to help out. Yes, I do name my rigs after characters.
I made my computers after characters. Wait, what's the name of my computer now?
What is the name for computer? Kaikisk?
No. It's a normal thing. Wait, is there an about this PC? I forgot what I named it. Oh, Tomiris, right? Ancient warrior queen killed Cyrus II.
Oh,
pretty badass.
That's pretty badass.
We stand.
Yes. All right.
All right.
I'll see you all next time.
No maidens.
No.
Imagine being maidenless couldn't be me. All right.
Who cares if I'm maidenless? I have warm, soft titty hug.
Maidenless. All right.
All right.
Okay, bye everybody.
Yeah, you have to go, right? No, it's no problem.
I have to eat dinner. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
I still have to look for a raid target. Go ahead. You can leave.
Bye, everyone. It was nice meeting you. Bye.
Okay, as for yours truly, I'm still... Wait. Where the heck? Oh, there's my model. Alright, I am looking for raid targets. Oh, there's one. Wait. Vault has been streaming for 8 hours. Oh my god. But homie Enzo's up. Yeah, I haven't raided Enzo in a while, so we are going to raid Enzo. Okay. Let me bring this out. Wanna raid Daishima VT? Geek, link me that on Discord. I'll check them out next time. Enzo rocks. Is this safe fanfare? What do you mean? Is it? In Bossa Nova? Ah, yeah, it is. Okay. Here is the raid message. You guys know the drill. Don't spam it too much. We're going to raid. We're gonna raid Enzo. He's currently streaming Genshin Impact, best mobile game of the year 2021. All right, I'll see you all. I will see you all maybe later. If not later, tomorrow. Bye bye.